evening, everyone, and oh no, it's not evening just right, but just yet, but hey, we're close to it anyway. So today we are starting up a new playthrough of. We're playing a new playthrough of Rogue Trader. Plan is to go heretical. We will see. Plan is to go heretical. I don't really know what kind of character we're going to make.
A new challenge for me.
This is good. I think we're playing one above what we did last time. Played a dude last time. We played the dude sniper. Kind of became something else in the end, but yeah. There's two things that I'm just like leaning towards. I kind of want to go Psyker. Heretical, Psyker. Kind of makes sense in my mind. Going with that. Appearance. What? Okay, yeah. Appearance. Oh, for fuck's sake. We're doing lightly modded. Yep, here. We're playing Daring. So that's one above.
You didn't stand a chance.
We're going that. Okay, the hair I want to switch around. Something fitting for a Psyker. Psychers are a bit extreme overall, usually. That arm, and we're going to add another one. The other arm, and I'm thinking we're going. The route I'm at right now is we're going to go Psyker, and we're going to go we're going sanctioned pyro Psyker. That is what I'm thinking right now.
Something of interest.
Let the bodies pile.
Yep. Body, face, hair, eyebrow. Oh, there. Eyebrow color. We don't really have. Don't have an option for eyes, huh? Eh. Homeworld. This is the thing that is going to set us most. What are we going? Are we going Fortress World? Never Stop Shooting? Imperial World? Forge World? Hive World? Fellowship bonus? They suffer penalty? With no creatures around? Voidborn might be good. Yeah, you know what? We're going Voidborn. Origin. Sanctioned Psyker, yes. And we're going... the route I want to go is Fire Psyker, or Pyromancer.
A pyromancer is a master of flame, a psyker who is able to create searing infernos out of thin air. Pyromancy is one of the most spectacular and destructive forms of psychic ability, and those who face a pyromancer in combat are oft reduced to naught but a pile of charred bones.
Yeah, that is one of the mods we're running. One of the few mods we're running. It makes it so I don't need to read. And that is probably the best thing there is. Triumph. Upon solving
the mystery of a powerful psychically active Xeno artifact, you managed to destroy the creation of countless enemies of humanity.
No.
You single-handedly saved a pilgrim ship by stopping a warp breach while traveling through the Immatrium. The power of your sorcery crushed a demon of the archenemy and drove it back into the warp.
That is the way. We're going...
You were accused of being possessed by a warp entity and forced into exile, leaving your soul forever scarred.
I think that's the one we're going with.
Your sorcery caused a warp manifestation aboard a void ship, claiming thousands of lives in the end. An error during the sanctioning process brought you many hours of agony, which nearly cost you your life.
I think...
You were accused of being possessed by a warp entity and forced into exile, leaving your soul forever scarred.
Homeworld is the thing that I'm just like, I'm a bit back and forth on. Jinx, it just makes it so you can re-roll certain things. Death World, agility, toughness, survival instincts, brutal hunter, wounded. I want to have one thing. Camaraderie, toughness, fellowship, perception. I like having high perception. Actually finding different things in the world is always going to be fun and always going to be a lot more interesting in my opinion. Be smart. Yeah. Voidborn. We're going with Voidborn. Intelligence, willpower, it's going to help us with archetype. What we're going here is the thing that I'm a bit more interested in. So here is the thing. This is the new one. This is the new one with the DLC. The Executioner is also new. And I'm thinking I'm going Blind Dancer, Executioner into Exemplar. Athletics, Demolition, Medicaid. Okay. Because I don't lie, this is really OP, or it was really OP. This is also kind of good. Soldier is just soldier, it just boom boom pow. Operative is the one thing I don't really understand. It is the one that I really don't understand, but at the same time, I've seen the power of a good operative. But Blade Dancer is a new one. Sword and movement, melee sword movement, dodge, parry. Movement and range attack, cover and dodge, burst fire, area of attacks, precise single attacks, defense penetration, area debuff, consists of firing positions, extra turns, single target buff, rescuing allies, momentum, melee, movement, dodge, armor, parry, taunt, soaking damage. For the thing that I want to do, I feel like... Are we going Soldier or Blade Dancer is probably the two biggest questions overall, honestly. That is the question, honestly. Just double checking so stream is actually working and I haven't been sitting here for how long? 10 minutes. 10 minutes just talking about absolutely nothing to myself. Coercion, Psyker, Voidborn, Willpower. Wait. If we go into Triumph, Persuasion, Coercion. Persuasion is Fellowship. That is also Fellowship. That is just Intelligence. Okay. That's not going to make any difference. Here's the thing that I need to ask myself the most. I kind of want to pick Officer. But then I need to move into Grand Tactician. There's a lot of other really good characters that have specifically those traits. So Operative is also a good option. But you have a ton of operatives in the beginning of the game and throughout the game. Blade Dancer I don't really know. Soldier is just a basic, really good one, honestly. And honestly, it's leaning towards Soldier. No, we're going Blade Dancer. We are a Psyker trained in... Yeah, that's a backside melee goes on strength, and we are minus strength because we're actually Voidborn, so that archetype actually is a bad choice for Blade Dancer. Operative? Are we going Operative? Operative.
An operative uses intelligence and perception to find and exploit weaknesses in an enemy's defenses. None can withstand an attack from an operative. Core focus, precise single attacks, defense penetration, area debuffs, consistent firing position.
How is the tree for operative? I have not looked at this. Plus awareness there. Operatives remove all exploit, decreasing the target's dodge and armor by minus plus exploit. Okay. Whenever the operatives attacks an enemy that has full... Maybe this is the time for me to just accept this and we're going operative. That is the one that is the most fitting, and then we're going into Executioner. Executioner is melee attacks inflict 6 levels of bleed on all. Okay, so this is... okay. We're going still Sanctioned Psyker, but we're switching... We're switching Home World, Forge World. Plasma weapons. Do I want to go? No, we're going Death World again. Nah. This is the problem with me. I'm so indecisive when it comes to this because this is the next 160, 150, 140 hours, something around there. I'm going to sit here and play this. Fortress is based on shooting. Imperial, serve. Doing my part. Stronger together. No heresy. Death World. Brutal Hunter. Yeah, we're going Death World. Death World, Sanctioned Psyker, Pyromancer, and we're going Operative. Perception. Max that out. Maxing. Hello, Kupo. No, it is not my first time. This is going to be my second time playing through this game. Last time I went a full iconoclast, like trying to be a good person playing this game. This time, I'm heretical. I'm going to go. I picked the most heretical thing I can think of. A melee, a person that plan is to go pretty much a crazy person that hits things with melee weapons, and to go and also a psyker. So I'm going as crazy as I can. Willpower, so we boosted off strength, perception, and willpower, the things that actually is going to make the biggest difference for us. 40 awareness already, that's great. What are we naming our ship? What are we naming our ship? Daring Destiny. Fist of Fire. Yeah. No, Heretical is probably the one that gains the, like, you gain the most power the quickest, if that makes sense. What are we naming ourselves? What are we naming ourselves? A female pyromancer. A female pyromancer. Oh no, no, no. Last time we played as, we kind of role played as a person from Fenris. We picked Death World and looked at it that way. And we went for Björn Shadowpelt. And I'm thinking somewhere in the similar line of that. Uh, Octavia the Fire Axe. Are there Swedish names in Warhammer 40k? Yes, there's Swedish there's Swedish names in Warhammer 40k. A lot of the names that comes from Space Wolves are heavily inspired by Nordic names, Viking names, and stuff like that. Octavia. Okay. Octavia the Fire Axe. That feels right.
Background.
Oh yeah. Dark Angels has a lot of names that are like Britain, like knights and stuff like that, inspired. Ultramarines has a lot of Roman Greek names. And then like chapters that are based on those are actually has a lot of names based on the culture they're based on, pretty much. You have what is it? The Iron Snakes are really based on ancient Greek mythology, so a lot of them have really related lore to, or names related to Greek mythological figures and stuff like that. Octavia is one of the companions from this studio's Pathfinder game. I just like, I want to go Fire Axe, something that really fits in with Fire Axe. Verenia, Octavia the Fire Axe. That feels it rolls from the tongue in a certain way. Might need to increase the volume a bit. Lancius.
An excellent place for contemplation. One has the best view of the cathedral from here. Mesmerizing, wouldn't you say? An impeccable manifestation of the God Emperor's sublimity.
Okay, options. Sound. That is a lot better.
Three. All this ostentatious luxury, this laughable pretense, it is enough to make one think that the architects meant to compensate rather than glorify.
Yeah, the one mod I have is I don't need to read options, it will read it for me. That's the mod. I was waiting for one that sorts inventory as well.
4. Have we met?
Truly awe-inspiring.
That is the purpose of all temples to the God Emperor, to inspire awe and reverence. For it is the duty of his servants to persevere in their tireless service until they are presented with the chance to give their very life for the master of humanity. Allow me to introduce myself. Kunrad Voitvir, Master of Whispers, in the employ of Her Ladyship Rogue Trader Theodora von Valencias, at your service. I haven't had the pleasure of speaking with you in person before.
2. My name is Octavia the Fire Axe. And so as to avoid any misunderstanding, I am a sanctioned psyker.
I am aware of that fact. It would have been unacceptable negligence to have overlooked such a detail when compiling your profile. Fate bestowed upon you powers of witchcraft, and a duty to use them for the good of the Imperium.
No, we will see
Yours
about
is
that.
truly an unenviable lot. I will be frank with you. You may forget your past titles, no matter who gave them to you, or what their origins are. From the moment you and the other candidate were brought aboard this void ship, your fate changed. You now serve Lord Captain Theodora von Valencias, and carry the burden of an heir of this house. Henceforth, you share your dynastic name with Her Ladyship. Bear it with honor.
2. Why am I aboard this vessel? Why have I been brought here?
So that you may fulfill your blood duty. whatever obligations you had before, they are henceforth null and void. By order of the Lord Captain, you have been requisitioned to serve the rogue trader, indeed blessed by the God Emperor. Your former position may have been different from conventional service as part of one of the institutions of the Imperium, but from now on, a different fate awaits you. One chosen for you by the Lord Captain. I advise you to come to terms with this reality as quickly as possible. Such are the traditions of the Imperium. Lord Captain is the title that was established in the annals of the Lex Imperialis at the time when the first rogue traders entered the Gold Emperor's service, and therefore, it is sacrosanct.
1. You have a curious title, Master of Whispers. What are your responsibilities?
To put it plainly, I am the head of the network of spies and informers who serve the interests of House von Valencius. I uncover weak links both among Lady Theodora's retinue and in the ranks of her rivals. I eliminate our vulnerabilities and exploit those of others.
1. Tell me about the one on whose ship I have found myself.
I would rather not discuss the Lord Captain behind her back, especially not on board her ship. No one knows better than I that whispers are wont to attract particularly close attention. Suffice it to say that her ladyship is the bearer of the sacred warrant of trade and a woman of immense power and entitlement. However privileged your position may be, I ask that you do not incur her anger by being disrespectful or obtuse. Lady Theodora despises both qualities.
2. You say I am one of the rogue trader's heirs, so there is another candidate?
There is, and you will meet him soon enough.
3. I assume you had some goal in mind when you decided to seek me out. Let us address it.
But of course, I have come to invite you to a meeting with Lady Theodora. I imagine you have many questions for your patroness, and I'm sure she has just as many questions for you. It is regrettable that you haven't yet had an opportunity to speak. It has been an arduous voyage thus far. The Lord Captain and Master Edelthrad von Valencius are conversing on the observation platform. Let us join them there.
That's the second character, right? Okay, well, what do we have? What do we have? We have a basic stub revolver. Nothing else. Okay.
Curiosity sings in my veins.
The sacred mechanism has been interfered with without due reverence. The duration of the data processing cycle has tripled. The sacred mechanism has been interfered with without due reverence. The duration of the data processing cycle has tripled.
How was it you did this? You don't really have anything of major interest here at all, right?
A candlelit altar with a copy of the 2,348th volume of the Lex Imperialis, the Codex of the Sacred Laws of the Imperium.
Ah, one step at a time, amidst the madness.
Let's head through here.
One of the von Valencius trophy rooms. Perhaps you would like to take a look around after your audience with the Lord Captain.
What's happening?
Malfunctioning servitors.
Servitors have gone berserk!
Octavia the fire axe, shoot. Shoot, and don't let it get close.
$27 damage. 2 attacks. Yeah.
Oh, a genius at work.
I'm just happy that last time I played this, the allies were more dangerous than anything else. The allies were so much more dangerous than anyone else.
Schemes within schemes.
Accuracy isn't up there yet.
Oh. Fate claims another one.
What suspiciously poor timing for such an accident. Servitors malfunction on the officer's deck at exactly the same moment when the rogue trader and her heirs are gathered here. I have blocked all passages between the upper and lower sectors of the residential decks. If this is a deliberate attack, it should stop the culprits from advancing their plan.
Talk to Theodora von Valencius. Yep.
I'm afraid I must remain here. For Lady Theodora's safety, I have to oversee the execution of these orders personally. I hope you will have no difficulty reaching the observation platform on your own. It is just at the end of this corridor.
Okay. I can't loot any of this from any of these guys from my memory. No. It's just
There will be no peace in my wake.
random stuff. That's the door we're going through. Yep.
No initiative. No independent thought. Only the Omniscia's commandments and adherence to protocols.
Okay, it wants to funnel me to where I'm supposed to go.
I heard the Seneschal gave the senior officers another public dressing down recently. I don't know what it was for this time, but Worsrian would latch onto any slip-up as an excuse to give someone an earful.
Patience. Oh, my nerves are frayed.
Technomat. Okay.
That is simply irrational, Lady Theodora. Assimilation into the trade structure would be political and economic suicide. Practically an admission of heresy.
Then suggest an alternative that will satisfy me. I have described the situation. No worse than my Seneschal could have done. Make a decision. What will you do with Ion 6, Edelthrad?
Your first impression of Edelthrad, who appears to be about 30 years old, is of parchment-like skin stretched over a tightly bundled mass of sinew, implants, and bone. The nervously twitching fingers, the face twisted by a slight tic, and the jerky movements are all signs of some illness or defect that has taken over his physical form. In stark contrast to Edelthrad, Theodora von Valencius's features appear as if they were carved from marble, eternal and indestructible. Head raised high, proud posture, hands clasped casually behind her back. Everything seems to emphasize the difference in status between her and Edelthrad. Behind the two of them, you see two more men. One is a grey-haired officer of impeccable bearing who is studying the contents of his data slate. The other is a behemoth bristling with holsters and baldricks containing all manner of weapons.
Our second candidate has joined us. Approach and give me your answer.
Our second candidate has joined us.
The dry female voice and the powerful feeling of being watched force you to look at Theodora. The rogue trader is looking straight at you, and her gaze, like herself, is predatory and oppressive.
Octavia the Fire Axe, approach and give me your answer.
Consider this hypothetical situation. Ion 6. A new world on the fringes of the Coronis expanse. High seismic activity, regular magma eruptions, metamorphic rock deposits, prospects for large-scale mining. The world is populated by natives who worship some heretical underworld spirits that protect those who offer them sacrifices. Flights of fancy, you might say, but attempts to install ore extractors have failed for the second time. The mining crews sent to the planet's surface simply vanished overnight. My question to you is, what would you do with this poisoned treasure?
I believe I could use my personal abilities to ascertain whether there is a sorcery on Aeon 6, but it would require going down to the surface in person.
Ah, yes. Personal intervention. The surest way to leave yourself vulnerable. What say you, Edelthrad? Your sister in sorcery is not afraid to face danger. Unlike you.
A Psyker's soul is a yawning gate for the ruinous powers. One could hardly trust a servant of the Imperium who is so eager to usher in corruption.
Oh, yeah. We are going to play the Fiery Soul, no question about it. Shut your mouth, Etheltrad, before I shut it for you.
I invite you to try, you miserable vermin. I am intrigued to see how your pathetic life will...
Edelthrad, I believe I gave you an assignment on this ship. Explain to me then why my senior congregator is still dawdling about the officers' deck, instead of proceeding to the middle decks to commence the inspection of the compartments in his purview.
I beg your forgiveness, Lady Theodora. Your presence has such a profound effect on me that I well forgot the time.
So, why are you here?
It was not you that sent for me? I don't know yet. I hope you will clarify that.
Clarity. A luxury that few of us can afford. There is a reason why I did not explain all the details of the question I posed to you earlier. Beyond the borders of the Imperium, seldom is one granted an opportunity to enjoy information in abundance. This, however, is one such opportunity. My name is Theodora von Valancius Massimo of Scaris. I am a rogue trader in the service of the God Emperor of humanity, and my rights and freedoms are vindicated by a most sacred relic. The warrant of trade, kept aboard this very vessel. Mine is the honor to venture into the darkness, beyond the Imperium, and carry humanity's light where powers wicked and heretical reign, and bow death and ruin to us all. It is my decision alone to determine the fate of whatever I find past the bounds of the explored void. Every world I discover, along with all there is to find thereon. Resources, people, riches, and mysteries, is mine by right. I command millions of lives, rule over numerous planets, and possess fortunes that no planetary governor or commander could dream of amassing. And you are one of those with Fon Valancius blood in their veins and a rightful claim to this inheritance when the hour comes.
I'm ready to take on my sacred purpose.
Oh, yes. You would be, wouldn't you? The question is, am I ready to choose you over the rest? You came aboard hours before the warp jump, and have not yet distinguished yourself in any way. As things currently stand, I have doubts that you are suitable for the role of rogue trader.
Yep.
Blood right alone is not enough to earn the high honor of becoming the bearer of a warrant of trade. Nonetheless, your abilities and talents may yet prove useful. If not for the role of Lord Captain, then for that of their closest ally. Alas, even those responsibilities can at times be too challenging for those who share your blood. Kunrad Voitvir served me for many years before he made his mistake.
2. Did I hear you correctly? The Master of Whispers is related to you.
His kinship to me is most distant, as is yours. Nonetheless, he does bear the name Fon Valancius, even if he avoids using it publicly, and as such, strictly speaking, can be considered my heir. That door, however, is closed to him. Voitvir's performance in his current role is satisfactory. Or it used to be, at least.
One of. Does that mean there are other heirs?
Naturally. Some have yet to arrive on board, but you have had the pleasure of meeting one of them. Edelthrad may be somewhat disconcerted by the scale of the responsibilities that may potentially fall upon his shoulders. However, I have a good feeling about him as a candidate.
2. If you are satisfied with Adelthrad, then what sense is there in having this conversation? Why are you wasting your time on me?
Impatience. I am rather fond of impatient people. They are not as quick to resign themselves to circumstance and more eager to show initiative. Even if I do choose Edelthrad as my successor, I will still require loyal advisors. The skills and knowledge you acquired in your former life may prove invaluable here, in the Coronis Expanse. It says in your profile that you bear the brand of sorcery, albeit sanctioned sorcery that is permitted in the service of the Imperium. I am accustomed to the presence of psychers at my side. More than that, I value their unique abilities highly. Perhaps that is why I am so intrigued by Edelthrad's candidacy. A rogue trader psyker could achieve great things indeed. However, psychers are fragile creatures, and as such I would rather have a replacement standing ready in the event that something happens to Edelthrad.
Oh, that's so bad.
Moreover, your courage has made you far more famous than you yourself probably realize. True feats of heroism will forever live on in the annals of the Imperium and bring honor to the Fon Valancius line.
Decision consequences.
Oh, it's fighting off the greater demon or something like that.
I have some time before the navigator gives the signal to initiate the void ship's translation out of the warp, and my presence is required on the bridge.
Where is this ship heading?
The Rykad system, the domain of rogue trader Winterscale, one of my peers and rivals. Besides me, 2 other rogue traders exist in the Coronis Expanse, and each of them possesses resources comparable to mine. Perhaps you will one day assist House von Valancius in surpassing both of them in affluence and splendor. I set the course for Rykad on the demand that... for a very specific reason. Perhaps I shall yet apprise you of the purpose for this voyage, but now is not the time.
An incident took place on the officer's deck. The servitors went berserk and attacked the crew.
Is that so? Perhaps the technomats were careless during maintenance. Or it could be the warp playing tricks on us in spite of the Gellerfield. Or perhaps there is something to all the stories about the ship being possessed after all.
Lady Theodora, for the God Emperor's sake, surely you do not intend to start repeating idle rumors spread about by uneducated riffraff.
Enough, Abelard. Such hearsay amuses me. Idira eagerly retells me everything she learns from the whispers of her unseen advisors. This ship is thousands of years old. It has enough hidden nooks, malfunctioning cogitators, and unused compartments to make ignorant folks speak of specters dwelling inside the bulkheads and plotting against those who yet live.
What are my current responsibilities?
Observe, learn, absorb. It will take time for you to find your bearings aboard this vessel and in your new position. Eventually, I will find a post that suits you as I did for Ethelthrad. Until that time comes, consider yourself my aide.
Navigator, translation? What are the... now?
The Rykad. Sometimes I forget that people without direct access to a ship's bridge may not know the first thing about how a void ship travels between the stars.
Yeah, that is 100% true.
Vessels such as this one are capable of leaving real space and traversing into the warp, an otherworldly dimension of cruel and unthinkable forces. By entering it under the protection of the Gellerfield, we shorten the route to our destination, crossing distances that would require hundreds of years in a matter of weeks instead. Sometimes in days or even hours. That is how humanity spread across the galaxy. That is how we were able to build the Imperium, which spans millions of stars. In that case, I shall head to... Disturbances reported on the adjacent decks. Seneschal, if the need arises, protect the new blood. It is possible that the chance to prove your worth may present itself sooner than you may have anticipated.
Heretics! Heretics!
Cower before the mind unhinged.
All of you will bleed!
Don't touch me.
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones. One fewer target. Stay vigilant. Die!
That is...
Reduce to dust!
Guides me.
A predictable downfall.
Yeah.
War is my muse.
Crush the feeble!
Ugh. Pain and duty go hand in hand.
Death to the weak.
He's parrying.
My
Oh, no, he actually didn't parry.
One fewer target.
Gotta love a plasma.
Reduced to dust.
Death to non-believers.
Just a minor setback.
Actually, a fair amount of damage on that, huh?
Through the smoke and gunfire.
But I'm going to be playing with the warp a lot this playthrough, so I need to get used to actually just pumping out that.
A tactically sound approach. I took care of this one.
Okay.
Mort, take a team with you and clear a path to the transport line. Do not let a single whoreson survive. Didn't bat an eye when that scum burst onto the deck, huh? Not bad. I have seen many an officer who panicked at the sight of combat on the upper decks. The false sense of security offered by their position makes them that much more vulnerable to the harsh realities of warp travel.
She looks at the Vox in her hand, and all you can hear is lifeless static. What are your orders?
Mort has gone on ahead to clear a path for us. If you want to make yourself useful, go after him and see if the Arch-Militant requires aid. And be quick about it.
Oh, what lies beyond?
The heretic's body is riddled with holes. An improvised single shotgun lies smoking in his hand.
The accursed traitor shot him at point-blank range. The Master-at-Arms is not looking good.
Yeah, the multi is weapon.
Thank Providence you are alive and well.
Always on time, eh, Coonrad? The moment we finish chasing the riffraff around the deck, you show up. Always just after the fighting's done. You could set your chrono by it.
Mort, pull yourself together.
What, did the Lord Captain send you to chivvy us along? We're all done here. I'll report right away.
Love the look of Mort, honestly.
Master of Whispers, what is happening on my ship? The Voxnet is silent. The Vox Master is not responding. Armed assailants have stormed the officer's deck, and my arch-militant just destroyed several more heretics on the way here. Is this a severe case of warp madness? Have some of my crew lost their minds and forgotten who they are and whom they serve? Report!
I have not yet received word from the Engineerium regarding any Gellerfield failures, but communications were already unstable half an hour ago, and now they have ceased altogether. Whatever the cause may be, the consequences are spreading fast. I am receiving scattered reports from the middle decks, and the only voxcasts from the lower bays are one-way heretical gibberish. That the madmen have already reached the officer's deck suggests that this outrage was planned in advance. Perhaps this is an organized mutiny.
Mutiny? But who would attempt a mutiny in the warp?
Lunatics, fools, heretics. This ship houses thousands upon thousands of people. Pernicious thoughts and warp-induced delusions could have tainted any one of them. It is a difficult notion to accept, but such risks are inescapable. First, we have to confirm that the bridge and the navigator's sanctum are secure. And I have the means to do both things at once. Edelthrad, where is he? I must know if he is unharmed. A psyker aboard a ship that is potentially being assailed by the warp could pose a greater threat to himself and others than a whole army of madmen with improvised weapons.
I tried to locate him, but the last thing known about his movements is that he arrived on Transitional Deck 18.
Blast it! Master of Whispers, find Edelthrad immediately. Seneschal, locate Tlas and the Sister of Battle. Both are to remain at my side. Arch-militant, with me. I must go to my study. And it appears we might encounter heretics along the way.
If I may, Lord Captain. Transitional Deck 18 is at the heart of the disturbance, and if our goal is to bring Ethelthrat back, I could use some support. After all, I'm not as adept at directly confronting enemies of the House as the esteemed Arch-Militant, and taking into consideration Ethelthrat's psychic powers.
Then it's settled. Find Ethelthrad and bring him here. In whatever state you find him. This elevator leads to restricted compartments such as my personal chambers and the bridge. Do not let me down. I require you both. Do you understand?
I promise I won't lose our dearest heir somewhere along the way.
Kunrad, keep an eye on our spirited guest. You are personally responsible. Mort!
I'm getting stabbed back now. Yes, sorry for the spoilers.
Are you ready to head to 18? It is a long walk, and you do not even have proper gear.
You better not fail me, the Lord Captain made it clear relying on you. On you is fraught with risks.
I see you have quickly earned Lady Theodora's trust. If she is already sharing her closely guarded secrets with you. But that is no longer relevant.
With a pop and a sharp crackle, something hits you in the abdomen, and you are consumed by unbearable, gut-wrenching pain.
Yep. I promise you a special destiny, Octavia Fairax. It's the last. It's time to fulfill it. There's something about like that bombastic, epic music in this game that is really good.
Careful, careful. Be gentle with our guest. She has an important mission to complete during our visit to the Warren Chamber, and for that, I need her breathing.
What is the
You're
meaning
back
of
with
this?
us, I see. Delightful. You must have hit your head harder than I thought. No matter. Very little is required of you. Just your blood, which you can either share of your own volition, or I will spill it for you. We are in the anteroom of the Warren Chamber, this void ship's most hallowed vault. There, beyond those gates, lies the relic that gives Theodora all of her power. The sacred Warrant of Trade. Only one obstacle remains on my path to obtaining it. The gates of the chamber are guarded by the Sentinel, an ancient device that will only open the door to a true heir of the dynasty. I expected to do this part myself, but never mind. You will offer your blood to the Sentinel.
Use psychic power against him.
You close your eyes and try to focus. And then you feel the touch of something sharp. Voiktva has somehow sensed a shift in the warp and delivered a preemptive strike. The blade flashes in the dim light, and drops of blood appear on your palm. For a brief moment, you feel nauseous, your head is spinning. And then quiet whispers begin to flood your mind. More and more sourceless voices echo each other, drowning out your own thoughts. Replacing them with a singular urge. Go. To. The gate. Go. To. The gate. Go. To. The gate. The voices in your head giggle and mock your desperate outcry. You feel this intruding influence forcing you onto your feet and making you take a step toward the gates looming in the center of the chamber.
So you can't really win that.
In the gateway arch you see a cogitator with a human likeness built into the front panel. As you approach, the torso twitches slightly. This is a servitor, an obedient automaton created from a lobotomized human being. The sentinel turns its head to you, one of its eye sockets lighting up with two ember-like irises. You carefully inspect the design of the gate cogitator. What immediately catches your eye is the strange alloy that was used as material for the machine's components, some of which are unfamiliar to you. You suspect this might be some kind of Archaeotech relic. The servitor on the gate begins to move. With the screeching and groaning of metal, it leans forward, closer to you. Its lower jaw opens with a drawn-out shriek, much wider than the jaw of a living human could. The servitor's mouth is filled with sharp metallic fangs that glint in the dim light. The vid screen to the right of you lights up, showing strings of mysterious symbols on a green background. A whisper runs through your consciousness, insisting, demanding sacrifice. The voices that filled your head after Voigtva wounded you with his blade did not go away. On the contrary, their source coiled itself into a tight knot somewhere in the depths of your mind. The servitor looks noticeably different from the ones you are used to. Its skin covering is stitched together with copper thread, and it has metal hinges in place of the standard joints. It seems that the creators of the Sentinel did everything to ensure that the service life of this unit would be much longer than that of ordinary automatons.
Did you forget something? I suggest you hurry.
You look around in hopes of finding at least something that could work as a weapon. Your search is in vain. The chamber anteroom is completely empty and in perfect working condition. Nary a broken panel or a protruding piece of rebar in sight. The Sentinel's jaws clamp around your hand, puncturing your skin and sinking into your flesh. A few dark drops fall into the servitor's throat, and immediately you hear humming as the servo motors start up and the pumps stir into motion. The vid screen of the cogitator flickers. Several long minutes pass. The Sentinel's jaws remain closed, and you are beginning to feel sick. Perhaps if you were to lean against the gate, you could catch your breath, maybe even close your eyes and pretend none of this ever happened.
High levels of caustic humors. The subject is in a state of heightened stress. Do you require assistance?
High levels of caustic humors. The subject is in a state of heightened stress. Do you require assistance? You do not understand where this quiet voice is coming from, crackling like static. Is it the Sentinel? The cogitator? Is it a figment of your weary mind? Whichever it is, you can clearly hear every word.
Suppose this is the onset of warp madness they warned me about.
Request accepted. Initiating defense protocol.
There is still another way.
And he starts the way.
Curiosity sings in my veins.
Let it be known that by my will, pretty much the contract from the Emperor that...
Escort the child of the house to safety.
I need to contact someone, preferably Theodora.
Voxcast frequencies disrupted. Initiating setup. Establish.
Voxmaster, restore communication with the Navigator Sanctum. I am trying to contact the bridge. If anyone can hear me on this frequency, regroup all available
Communication protocols breached. Signal latency assessment unavailable. Unable to establish two-way connection. Distance from the current location to the nearest arsenal. Initiating situational calculations.
The server goes silent. Relates clicking second. Realize the server scaler will not answer you. What madness?
1. What madness is happening here? Who are you? Who addresses me?
Temporary obnubilation following acute stress. Mobile unit of the Warren Sentinel standing by.
Are you the Warren Sentinel?
Mobile unit of the Warren Sentinel, designed as a personal escort of the child of the house and a means of communicating with the rogue trader's subjects. Mobile unit standing by.
Lead me away from here.
Middle and upper decks. Assuming the probability of safe placement in areas of concentration of armed units. Calculating. To prevent unauthorized units from breaching the warrant chamber, preemptive sealing must be initiated. The mobile unit will start executing the received order immediately after the safety of the warrant is secured.
Tapestry of a world, I am the rogue thread.
The enormous gates match the importance of the thing they protect. The massive doors are made of heavy metal and look impregnable.
Seal the door.
Mistress? What? Whatever are you doing in the Warren Chamber? How did you... Throne preserve me! What is the meaning of this?
1. Kunrad Voigtbur is a traitor. When we parted ways on the officer's deck, he stunned me somehow and brought me here.
What?
1. He intended to take revenge on Theodora for something, and trying to reach the warrant was somehow part of that plan.
Oh, holy God, Emperor. I presume he is the one responsible for the mutiny. And, Mistress, I wish to remind you that you are to refer to the Lord Captain as Lady Theodora.
Why don't we settle... Why don't we leave the matters of...
3. Why don't we leave matters of etiquette for another time?
Absolutely. With the Lord Captain's permission, I shall give you an hour-long lecture on how making use of proper addresses corresponds to showing due faith in the God Emperor's anointed. For now, however, we have more pressing matters on our hands. You're in a bad way. I can treat your wounds. I have a Medicaid kit with me. And, for the love of the throne, now is not a good time to be walking around the decks without means of self-defense.
Oh, so they actually give me a sniper rifle.
There will be no peace in my wake.
Sometimes you consult the appropriate treaties on...
Thanks. Your efforts are noted.
Wonder if there is anything more interesting. Can't get further back here. Assume I can't find anything over here either. Maybe there is something? No, not really.
They will see. Oh yes, they all will see.
Look no further. Let's patch you up.
Oh, take my transient gratitude.
What?
One step at a time, amidst the madness.
I'm at your service.
Let us seize the moment.
Oh, they want me to actually equip the stuff. Okay.
What? No.
That is a noticeable improvement. Now you're prepared for the trials ahead. The lower decks are teeming with heretics instigating the rabble to revolt. But that is the least of our problems. The ship's enforcers are rounding up the scoundrels and suppressing the resistance. The situation on the middle decks is much worse, although strike teams have already been dispatched there. All communication with the bridge and the engineering bay was lost. So, apart from scattered voxcasts, we have no information to go on. But that is not the worst of it all. All these jolts and shaking are most alarming. These are signs that the navigator and the master helmsman are having difficulty translating the ship out of the warp and into real space. I fear that they may have already lost control. We must reach the navigator's sanctum and get a handle on the situation. If we can manage that, some aboard this vessel may yet survive. I am no helmsman. Oh, God Emperor preserve me, navigator. However, I've spent my entire life aboard void ships equipped with warp drives, and I know that portents such as these do not bode well. It could be that the Gellerfield has faltered. Perhaps the navigator was struck down by warp corruption and is fighting for the last shreds of his humanity as we speak. If we get thrown off course, we will be forever lost in the warp. Naturally, we would likely not have long to live in that scenario. But I will not resign myself to such an outcome just yet.
How did you find me?
You sent me a Vox message. Specifically, a Voxcast on the officer's frequency, which I had the good fortune to receive. You mean to say you did no such thing?
I think the Warrant Sentinel may have sent the message. It appeared when I opened the chamber.
Warrant Sentinel? The Lord Captain barely ever ventures down to the chamber, and I was at her side only once or twice when she did. And I did not see anything of the sort. The Warrant Chamber is an ancient and rather sacred mechanism that the ship's tech priests treat with the utmost reverence. I assume that whatever it is that you did, you must have activated certain processes and caused the Sentinel to awaken. But then, why did none of it happen when Lady Theodora did the same?
I heard one of Theodora's Voxcasts.
Lady Theodora's. Which one? The last one I received was about the Navigator's Sanctum, and that was a good while ago. In any case, let us hope that the Lord Captain is well, and safely in charge of the ship's defense. In the meantime, we must do all we can to prevent the ship from veering off course.
The Navigator's Sanctum, very well. Will you lead the way?
Absolutely. Let us proceed.
To arms, loyal sons and daughters of the God Emperor! Fight the heresy and corruption that threatens to consume our home, and with all your might, destroy those who have dared!
The Lord Captain is calling her crew to battle, which means the Vox networks are set up for broadcast transmission, not message exchange. Splendid. While the rogue trader inspires proper resolve to fight in her subjects, you and I shall prove that her trust in us is well deserved. Onward!
Into the fray we charge.
Oh, they added that. That's cool.
Indeed. One fewer target. Someone else can do this. At your beck and call.
No parrot.
I serve the ruinous powers!
What?
Out of my way!
Yes, gather around. Come on, you as well.
Pain and duty go hand in hand.
Guides me.
I will do my more the better. At your beck and call. My ears are ringing. It will be done.
In the beginning, to be fair, I'm playing on a higher difficulty than I usually play on, so...
Fate claims! Another one.
Collect all. Okay. We got ourselves some melee weapons. I am not going to say no to that. Going to go for more of axes when we have the opportunity for that. But right now, it is just being happy with what we have. Features, archetypes. Yeah, at one point we can spend awareness. I want to pump up awareness overall as much as possible. And for you, coercion, going down. Okay. And we're putting our last pistol on Abelard. Or as I called him my last playthrough, Albert. To the Navigator's Sanctum.
Patience?
The navigator.
And so she will enter the halls of the blinded guide and witness the radiance of the final dawn through the cracks and fall victim to a whim of fate.
Mistress, watch your head. Idira, would it be too much to ask that you phrase your soothsayings plainly for once? That was too close.
Sorry, old man. The voices are so loud I can't even hear myself. They shriek, they sing, they... Oh, Abelard, how they sing!
This is Idira Tlas, personal psyker and diviner of Her Ladyship Theodora von Valensis. Idira?
I'm not drunk, old man. I'm suffering the effects of the warp that is seeping through these walls. I see the ship's fate. To die in the waves of the immaterium, fall under the burning rays of the final dawn. And in the roaring blaze, I see a figure standing. Who is it? I have no answer.
The entity in your consciousness shrinks and crawls in deeper, its claws scraping against the walls of your mind, as if the presence is trying to hide from the seer standing before you.
A diviner, are you?
The voices from beyond the threshold whisper to me. Sometimes their murmurs are clear, they grant insight. Sometimes they drive me mad. But I am patient. I know how to listen and discern. But now, with this clamor around me, too many voices, too loud. And you, Von Valensis, are a sorcerer too, just like the other one. Lady Theodora must have grown so fond of psychers she wants one to replace her.
Officer's frequency. To all who can hear
That's Edelthrad. Oh, Emperor's Providence. The other heir lives as well. Quickly, we must head to...
Not so fast, old man. If we drown in the warp, Lady Theodora's heirs won't be any good to us. If Edelthrad's like me and hasn't yet surrendered his mind or body to the mercy of the warp, then he can still hold on a little longer without us.
Blast it. You're right. First, we need to deal with what is happening here.
What are you doing here?
The whispers called me. The ones I could make out among all the screams and screeches. Those who are rocking this boat hit us where it hurt. They went after the navigator, our guide through the warp. Other whispers called me to the enginarium, but it was too late. I heard the cry of our master Cog, and the silence that followed.
What? You don't mean the Engineer Prime is...
Said, without a doubt. And the voices wail, heralding countless nightmares, cackling at each soul among the hundreds that are now joining the warp. The shriek from the navigator's sanctum was louder than the rest. And it's better that we saved the navigator than some lever puller from a cooling module or a cook from the middle decks.
Must save the navigator as well.
No. Nothing is well about him. Can't you feel the chill crawling on your skin? The eyes watching you? The warp ice has already encased the bulkheads. What follows is calamity. But we're not just going to stand here and take it, are we? The state of things in here suggests there's a navigator around. Maybe one who's crippled or at death's door, but still kicking. And since our skin hasn't peeled off our faces just yet, his third eye must be closed. At worst, it's a little roughed up. So what are we moping around for? Let's go protect that noble mutant while we're still alive.
A piece of pipe left a noticeable dent in the floor.
Don't you dare to cross us!
Surrender to the dark powers! Out my way!
Pain is but an illusion.
Anything else? Farewell. Was that you? Or
What does that do again? Dodge chance. Okay.
Death to the weak!
shattered foes in my wake?
Light him on fire.
Ah, another one is shattered. I won't sully myself with that.
Death to non-believers!
Indeed. I took care of this one.
Nice.
The creature in the chair appears as if it has become one with its throne. You see pink, parchment-like skin stretched between the seat and the limbs that have too many joints for a normal human being. The navigator is breathing heavily, the air whistling as it exits through the two dark gill-like slits on its cheeks. The creature's eyes are shut, the two ordinary eyes as well as the third one that sits in the center of its forehead.
I believe Master Vespider still lives. Well, the servants are dead, but the chamber, thank the Emperor, is still sealed from the warp. Well, we have a chance of leaving this place alive.
1. Give Abelard a pointed look.
Master Vespidas.
Your time is short.
The navigator stirs, barely able to lift his head and half open his normal eyes. A dark drop rolls from under the closed lid of the third eye and down his face, leaving behind a black trail.
Your time is short.
The voice is coming from the Vox grill at the base of the bizarre chair. It is unclear how the navigator is able to produce human speech.
Our time is short, what do we do?
Fall to your knees, mortals, and behold the final dawn.
Suddenly, the navigator's body starts thrashing in place. It lurches forward, then falls back onto the seat, then thrusts forward again as its bones crack and its skin tears open. However, the fusion between the body and the chair appears to be stronger than these wild impetuses. The mutant remains seated but leans as far forward as he can, his layered alignment slowly turning crimson. The gill slits burst open, forming two hideous screaming mouth-like pits.
Fall to your knees, mortals, and behold the final dawn.
It came from beyond! His body is not his!
Edira's scream is echoed by the silent cries in your head. The unseen creature triumphs at the sight of the navigator succumbing to the paroxysms of corruption.
Its march thunders under the burden of hopes. Unseal your hearts, and I will flood your souls with myriads of words and meanings, each one a portent of salvation within me.
Navigator continues convulsing violently in his seat, shrieking, crackling. His fist stops abruptly his face. His strange in black and crimson, a dark ooze from his third eyelid has turned from trickle to a stream mixed with blood coming out of his nose, and there is purplish swelling around his eyes.
Run. Flee from this place while I still have the strength. I can contain the intrusion, but not for long. We must begin the translation. Leave the warp. But it can't be done without the Master Helmsman's help.
Try to put an end. Cannot bear see his agony any longer. The navigator is still alive, but barely. What do we do now?
The ship can only begin the translation with the assistance of the Master Helmsman, if he is still alive. It is worth a try. We must get to the bridge, but we will need support. Our only option is to fight our way to the officer's deck and join forces with Edelthrad and his people. I believe we will also find Lady Theodora there. She must have heard the call to arms that the servo skull relayed to us earlier.
Vespidas, good luck. And thank you.
The navigator does not give her a response. Black tears mixed with blood are streaming from under the closed eyelids, and the vox at the base of the chair is bellowing out static interspersed with distant echoes of otherworldly laughter.
Curiosity sings in my veins.
Okay. Can't see anything of interest.
The navigator's sanctum is the private haven of the ship's guide through the warp, and a death trap for anyone left inside after translation to the Immatrium.
Wait, take that off. 50% parry rate. Okay.
They will see. Oh, yes, they all will see.
Okay, we're going this way, I guess. Yep. Officer's deck. We need to fight our way. We need to find Theodora. He's T-posing.
Your ship's as good as ours. It's all over for you.
I shall pity not your enemies. I shall heed not their pleas.
Somebody shoot this.
I shall betray not your tenets, nor stray one step from them. Take not your gaze from me. Leave me not without your grace.
I told you he would protect us.
My God, my light, my emperor.
The white-haired warrior turns to face you, her dark eyes blazing. The weapon quivers in her hands and, for a brief moment, it seems she is not going to stop and will instead continue eliminating every target she sees, starting with you.
Sister Argenta! Sister Argenta, it is a relief to see you. We require all the forces we can muster.
Your face, it is unfamiliar. Who are you?
Uh...
1. Octavia the Fire Axe von Valancius. The Lord Captain's heir.
The hour is dark and daunting. Ship abounds with corruption. The faces of friends are twisted by sneers of heresy. The eyes of comrades ignite with the archenemy's hunger. I will do what I must to halt the advance of the dark forces. But in these dire moments, little can be trusted. So I must know, why are you here?
Sister, I beg of you. Now is not the time for interrogations. The ship is under attack by heretics. We've been betrayed by our esteemed Master of Whispers. Edelthrad the Heir is waiting for our aid, and Lord Captain Theodora is expecting a report on our success. We are here to deal with the situation, so I suggest we all do just that.
Seneschal is right, there is no time for talk.
Very well. We may leave it at that, for now. I cannot wait to rain righteous fire down upon each and every heretic.
What's a warrior of the Adeptus Sororitas doing aboard a rogue trader ship? Your orders serve the ecclesiarchy, do they not?
Sister Argenta is a guest of the Lord Captain. And that story deserves its own time and conversation, under more appropriate circumstances.
Enough idle chatter. I am where I must be, and that will suffice.
What's happening on the officer's deck?
Massacre, my lady! And heretics are not just killing the crew. Some kind of blight is sweeping through the decks, filling the air. I saw people going mad the moment they breathed it in, screaming about seeing their dead comrades, tearing out their eyes. I implore you, my lady, be on your guard.
We must get to the main hall.
Through this door. I shall join you, for it is my duty to the God Emperor to destroy this heresy.
We will follow. For now, we will hold off any heretics who might try to crawl in through the cracks to join the main assault. And we'll take a look at the generators while we're at it. Those villains made a mess of the cables. Oh, I wish we had a Tectomat with us. But we'll see what we can do without one.
Good to hear it. Sister?
Ready. May Terra's light illuminate our path through fire and darkness.
Oof. Well-maintained sniper rifle, actually better than what I currently have.
In this tapestry of a world,
The explosion blasted
I
a
am
hole
the
through the door,
rogue
large enough
threat.
for a person to get through. The generators hum softly. When you draw closer, your skin begins to tingle from static discharges.
Heretics.
Here we go again. Let the blood flow!
I serve the ruinous powers! Ah! Out of my way!
Each strike is a prayer. I'll do it.
Lower accuracy. This is warp, right? No, that's momentum. That is the veil degradation. Okay.
But of course. Be gone.
Just a minor setback.
Okay, more incoming.
On it. Will do.
Chaos guides me! Chaos guides me!
My faith shields me.
Ouch.
Death to the weak!
Miss.
Let's see. A wage claims another one.
Follow my lead. That's not the Seneschal's job. At your beck and call. I will do my duty. Brace yourself, Avalon.
Ouch.
Faith without deeds eradicated. Doubt is for the weak.
What do you have? You actually have a last pistol. We also have Psychic Shriek.
Anything else?
Okay.
I'm not so sure.
He's going to shoot him in the back. Oh no. Shot out Abelard. Just light him on fire.
What if?
It
Yep,
will be
take
done.
care of him
One
first.
fewer target. I've suffered worse.
Rejoice in battle!
Seriously? Okay, next turn. Ooh.
A wicked thought.
I took care of this one.
Okay. Nope. And then lay down a bit of fire over there.
I'll do it. None can escape the Emperor's judgment.
Yep, good. Loot all.
Patience. My nerves are frayed.
Attention to detail is the key to success.
Okay, what do we have here? Been so long since I actually were doing stuff. We have logic. And open that with that.
Nothing's
Access
impossible
received.
for this old officer.
Okay, what do we have? Goods. Oh, nice. Oh, vault. Where gains 3+ tech bonus? Not really.
One step at a time, amidst
Oh,
the
we can-
madness.
This door as well. Take use.
Unlocked.
Experience. Nothing matters
The
more.
cogitator is silent. It seems that its machine spirit is no longer being powered by the motive force.
Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
Access
Unexpected
received.
result.
What lies
Okay.
beyond?
Ooh, more stuff. Med kits, mount bombs.
Unlocked.
Nothing's impossible for this old officer.
Ooh, got ourselves a shotgun. I like that. Oh, here as well. More stuff. Gonna install Pathfinder King for a 4th playthrough. Saving the game.
There will be no peace.
The
in
cozy
my
seating
wake.
area is completely destroyed. Pieces of furniture and splinters are scattered everywhere, and dark stains cover the floor and upholstery.
Thank you, Kubo, for having a look by. Yeah, it's something special with these kinds of games because it's just like, look at this. Look at
Titles
this.
and authors are printed in gold on the spines of the books. The library contains works on Imperium theology, law codices, biographical sketches, and chronicles of the greatest military conflicts of the Coronus Expanse and the Calixis sector. An exact replica of the von Valancius void ship sits on the pedestal. Labels indicate the main compartments and decks of the vessel.
Let's just blow this up.
Duty prevails.
Wait. For anything. Operative. Complete. Okay. Endure. Complete. Complete. Revel in slaughter. Okay, yep.
They will see. Oh yes, they all will see.
More. Oops.
Unlocked.
Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
Okay. Quick plus armor. You have highest tech. I'm just going to equip that. 10 damage, 10 plus parry. Yeah, it's better than what we have. Throw the helmet on you because it feels most standard. Put a sword on you so you actually have some kind of weapon. Put the axe on you so you actually have some kind of weapon as well. So we actually can deal with a lot of these things easier.
A fallen STELE has blocked the path to the lifts. You will have to look for another way to Edelthrad.
In my veins.
Over there.
Another.
The benches and even the cogitator, torn from its proper place, are stacked in a rough semblance of a barricade. The roar of the flames rings in your ears, and the choking smoke makes you cough and gasp for air. You instinctively recoil from the scorching heat, wiping your face. A moment later, a hazy silhouette forms in the raging wall of fire. You are surrounded by ear-splitting noise and screaming, yet you distinctly hear the sound of footsteps, and then you see the figure walk out of the fire toward you. It is Theodora von Valancius.
Are you lost, my heir?
Her expression is calm, terrifyingly so for someone whose body is engulfed in an inferno. One of her hands is resting on the hilt of her power sword, the other is raised in an inviting gesture.
Are you lost, my heir?
An apparition. A sorceress. Apparition. Trickery of the warp.
Sister, you will lower your weapon. Threatening the Lord Captain is outrageous.
How did you get here?
I am a rogue trader. I am wherever my will demands me to be. Would you prefer to be elsewhere at this time? Indubitably. But are you ready? I can lead you out of these flames, show you a path, rid you of pain, and give you a weapon so that you may defeat your enemies. Decide.
Your mouth begins to salivate. Each word Theodora speaks is like music to your ears. The entity that now dwells in the deepest recesses of your mind is pleading, begging, demanding that you give her an immediate answer, and that answer can be nothing other than acceptance.
Do not listen to this abomination. If there is naught but his light in your heart, if you are resolute in your faith, then step into the flames. The Emperor protects. His faithful will not be deterred by either darkness or deceitful promises. Nor will the fire burn those who carry the torch of faith in their soul.
To the void with you. We need to follow Lady Theodora before we suffocate in this furnace.
The people! The survivors from the middle decks! We must help the crew! Lead them out! Find a way around!
Then we'll miss our chance to meet up with Edel. What are we waiting for?
Accept the offer of help. Take my pain away and give me power.
You offer Theodora your hand, and the air around you seems to tighten, becoming thick and viscous, enveloping you and your companions in an impenetrable veil. Theodora smiles at you. Her radiant, piercing blue eyes suddenly remind you of Voigtva's.
I will show you the way. Go on. Close your eyes.
That's not good. We are 2 hours... Fuck, we're 2 hours in already.
What? What is this place?
My mind is clouded with darkness. Emperor, lay your hand upon our brows and guard us against the morass of heresy.
Numerous valuables and trophies are carelessly dumped into a single pile. It seems whoever put them here did not give these items any serious thought.
What lies beyond?
Oh shit. Dogmatic, helmet, very immune, critical hits for the first 3 rounds of the combat.
The murder scene looks like something called. Theodora von Valancius's body is sprawled on the large, blood-drenched desk. The arch-militant's corpse, still clutching a weapon, is slumped against one of the bulkheads.
Emperor, accept thy faithful souls. No! Lord Captain, I didn't hear a thing. Not a whisper, not a breath. It was so loud. Why didn't I foresee this?
Lord Captain. Who would even dare? Unless that rat, Voidsphere.
I doubted Vig wished to humiliate and suffer upon Theodora not a swift death.
It could have happened in the heat of battle. Not to mention that Mort was here, and he would have protected Lady Theodora to the last. How could Mort have failed her so terribly? The Arch-Militant was born on a death world. He had lightning-fast reflexes.
I can look at things in my own way. If you find something that might bear the imprint of the killer, just give it to me, and I'll try to see what secrets it holds.
You lean closer to the body. The cause of death is apparent. What ended the rogue trader's life was an auto-pistol shot, an extraordinarily accurate one at that. Theodora's face bears an expression of surprise, the last emotion she experienced in life. Something on the floor catches your eye, a heap of blood-splattered parchments and scrolls that must have fallen off the desk. As you lean down for a closer look, you notice something else, small shards of glass scattered on the floor.
Yeah, would you try touching Theodora? You might be able to see the killer through her eyes.
It doesn't work like that. I can try to read the memories of objects, but dead bodies are a different story. Something like that would require her soul. And after what we saw on the officer's deck, I won't risk searching for it in a warp.
Inspect the shard by the desk.
It is difficult to say what exactly was broken. The object fell on the floor, and that is as much as you can ascertain. Upon closer examination, the shards appear iridescent rather than completely transparent, as if they had been submerged in promethium. An auto-pistol shot went straight through Mort's forehead, spraying the floor and the furniture around with blood, brain matter, and shards of his skull. The safety on the Arch-Militant's weapon is off. The killer must have been a split second quicker than he.
I see streaks of color, luminescence, blue lights, faces drawing closer. Lady Theodora and Conrad and what is that? Ah! Something dark, enormous. Oh, this glass thing was something foul, that's for sure. Tainted witchcraft.
Reports, accounts, dispatches. You go over the scrolls until you stumble upon a document that is starkly different from the rest. It is a handwritten letter signed with the initials XC and a seal with a symbol that is vaguely familiar to you. Esteemed Theodora, a change in circumstances has demanded your immediate assistance in our mutual cause. Forthwith upon receiving this letter and performing the necessary preparations of the crew, you are to depart for the Reichert system. One of my acolytes, Interrogator Heinrichs van Kalax, operates there at the present time. Upon your arrival in the system, you will, without delay, make contact with him and offer any assistance required of you, after which you will provide him passage to the Furibundus system aboard your ship. On footfall, the interrogator will remove himself from your presence to await further instructions. Anticipating any questions you may have, I will stress that the nature of Interrogator Van Kalax's activities on Reichert Minoris is of no concern to you. If required, Van Kalax himself will disclose the details of his mission. May the Emperor's light be with you. XC. And sends a shiver down your spine. The author of this letter addressed to Theodora von Valancius signed it with the seal of one of the holy ordos of the Emperor's Inquisition, the secret police of the Imperium that relentlessly hunts heretics, xenos, and other enemies of humanity.
Yes, the crucible of battle calls to me once more.
No, wait! We must see if we can find anything.
Idira, you can't bring her back. Let her go.
You'd give up so easily, old man? I expected as much from the sister. It's not like she has a heart. But you? Oh no. I'll get to the bottom of this. I'll find the one responsible for murdering the Lord Captain. And when I do, that scum will regret the day they were born.
In this tapestry of a world, I am the rogue thread.
That's froze free. Lore of Imperium? Okay. Do we have anything in here? Fellowship.
They will see. Oh yes, they all will see.
It's you who has the best in that, yeah. Commerce 50. Dogmatic, yep. You're awfully heroic now. Actually, camo on the bolter.
Patience! Oh, my nerves are frayed.
The Emperor is with us! At your beck and call.
And you can just pulse them down, I guess.
As the Emperor commands, I act. Eradicated.
Take out those, free.
Farewell.
Great.
But of course,
Keep stacking that.
will do.
Ooh, she dodged. Nice.
Death to non-believers! Serve the ruinous power!
Victory is imminent. One fewer target.
We're going to...
A genius at work.
2 to 3.
Schemes within schemes within schemes.
Guided by faith. I'll do it. On it.
No. 3 damage. We're actually going to pass because I'm going to test this out. This is one of the weapons you get when playing Heretical. Okay, so we get dismantling attacks, and then we get something above that. Okay, operatives attack enemy with full hounds, instant exposure. If the operative attacks a target that is affected by explode from a distant 11 centimeter plus 15. Okay. The operative's perception bonus is 10 or higher. They gain 1 AP plus and ignore. Deflection. Force weapon deal 1 plus damage and have 5 armor penetration. Each level of psi rating, provided the psyker access new psychic, it's also strengthening damage of psychic power. Psychic power have a range. Each turn increases value degradation by 2 points if this talent is reduced effect degradation less than 0. Backdraft. Whenever the psychic power used by psychic deal damage to random enemy within 2 cell inflicts and suffer half the damage and does not, that damage does not trigger this talent again. Okay, so it means I can't do like pop one and just continue popping more. Whenever the Psyker uses psychic power, all enemies adjacent to the Psyker suffer 0 direct damage, but also happens when the Psyker suffer. Every time the Psychic kills or hit an enemy against 8 creatures in one combo, the Psyker. Okay, melting armor. Every time enemy suffers damage from the Psyker, the enemy's armor is reduced by minus 5%. If the armor is, it's in the deflection instead. When the Psyker is burning, The Psy power rating is increased by 1. The Psyker's resolve is increased by 2. Damage from fire no longer reduces the Psyker's momentum. All damage over time effects applied by the Psyker gains 5. This chance is increased by all critical hit bonuses. Okay, yeah. And here you have all the basic, like bolter proficiency, combat master. The character can attack with a second weapon in the current weapon set in additional. Yeah. So that is probably. The Psyker's resolve is increased by 2, while degradation is 10 or lower. Uses damage psychic power while being threatened by enemy in melee without provoking attack of opportunity. But do not provoke attack of opportunity even. Okay, so it means if I use non-attacking things, yeah. Increase critical by 1% until the end of combat every time the Psyker deals damage by any means. Fly within. Critical hits against 8 creatures in one combat. The Psyker's next will cost 0 and will not count towards. Burning blood. When the Psyker suffers 0? Four times Psy rating. Okay. So it would be 4 damage if. So this picking up this is probably going to be the best. To be fair, psychic power against the target is 6 or 7. We can pick that up. We cannot pick. We can pick that up here. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. Contempt. We cannot get a new ability from you, so we know. Which one is it? Intercept. When the warrior parries an attack, the next is reduced by 1. That is not bad. Whenever the warrior is hit while under endure. Okay. If the warrior has not attacked this turn, they have 20% armor. Warrior damage, crowd control. Damage deflect first. Cautious. Enrage. Warrior's critical damage increased by 8. Not armored with a melee weapon. I honestly think that one. Idra is a weird thing because I don't know what to actually go with her at all. She is also the same archetype as me, as my character, but she is a fate bringer. So I don't know really what to do. Every time the psychic deals mental damage from aftershock. Wisdom. Psychic. Character's level doesn't have sanctured psyker. Okay, so it needs to be level 9. Level 9 to actually get that. Every time parents in the warp increase momentum by 11. What was it? What was it? What was it? There was something that was really good on her. But I don't remember what it was, honestly. It's been... Fuck it. It's almost been a year now. I think... Yeah, we're going with that. Agatha, I know kind of what I want to go with her. Because I want to go... Rapid reload is a really good one. First reload is pretty much free. Rack and ruin. Fire up. This is really good if you have a full auto weapon. Combat medic. Alacrity. Each shot fired by the soldier grant them 1 agility until the next of turn. Muzzle velocity, the first of each deal additional damage equal to the weapon's fire rate. Armor penetration, ignore. Integrity. Swift slaughter, tenderize. Enemies damaged by suffer 3+ damage for the next attack that hits them. That's what we're going with. That one, tenderize.
One step at a time, amidst the madness.
The first sacrifice opens the
Oh,
eye.
fuck.
The second sacrifice draws its gaze.
Traitor! Right when we needed all forces to deliver a decisive blow, you stepped aside. Do not even try to claim that my vox costs did not reach you. I sense the mark of the warp on you. An echo of the powers that are ravaging this ship. What is it? The aftermath of the terrors that you had to face? Or an admission of guilt?
I meaningfully, I choose my allies well. I have assistants of battle at my side. What suspicion could you possibly have?
I cannot vouch for your actions. What transpired on the officer's deck?
Let us leave this conversation for another time. Master Edelthrad, it is with great sorrow that I inform you that Lady Theodora von Valancius is dead.
What? You? This is your doing.
Master Edelthrad, no! We have remained in each other's sight ever since we broke free from Kunrad's schemes. The Lord Captain was killed by another's hand, and by the Golden Throne. I can surmise whose hand it was.
No matter what ritual Kunrad is performing there, the warp is too strong. I cannot withstand it. I feel my body changing with every second. The warp is ringing in the air. This is the end. We will perish in the warp, along with the Warrant and all the dynasty's heirs. The enemy of humanity has triumphed.
I've seen it before. We'd better get away from him. The changes are already accelerating.
The ship can still be steered out of the warp. But we must first restore communication between the bridge and Navigator Sanctum.
Then we have no right to bow our heads.
You can see Konrad Voigtva clearly in the gloom of the bridge. The broken blade he is holding is stained with dark drops that seem to have a pearlescent glimmer to them.
We are out of time.
Ready your weapons. If we are to die this day, let us die with honor.
I will not die quietly alongside one who is a traitor to her blood. If my last service to the Imperium is to rip out the throat of an enemy of humanity, then such is the God Emperor's will. Accursed traitor! A time will come when you will bleed for her ladyship Theodora's murder. Remember my words, for they are the vow of he who marches toward his death.
What? Theodora is dead? No, that can't be. Not now. I still haven't.
Your ritual won't be finished, heretic!
Oh, it's finished. Oh, he is. Oh, that's a chaos spawn. That's a chaos spawn.
More enemies to face judgment. We are truly blessed this day. The Masters demand your death!
Is that the last heretic? Chaos spawn.
Let's see. Predictable downfall. A genius at work.
We're lacking in the AoE department. That is something that is clear.
I know what is to come. Not this Scryer's job. Will do.
You literally hit him. Seriously? Okay.
Anything else?
That's not really
Cuts
what I
and cracks
expected.
appear on your skin.
Was that you? Or...
I am your doom.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time. I will do my duty. Reduce to dust! Indeed.
God Emperor, move through me. Be the fire in my heart. Doubt is for the weak. As the Emperor commands, I act.
86. 1 HP.
I'll do it. In thy light I stand, and thy light I crave. Each strike is a prayer. Faith without deeds is worthless. I'll do it.
Why can't you hit 34? Okay, fair enough. 40.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Out of my way!
Pain and duty go hand in hand.
Ouch, ouch.
Chaos guides me.
One, two, three, four, five.
Step by step, I lead. Huh, what if? Let's see. Schemes within schemes.
Can I fall back now?
We're switching to that's there.
What is this foreboding? No can do.
No, fuck.
On it.
Okay.
It will be done. Victory is imminent.
I'm not injured. I'm enraged. I'll do it. Eradicate. This is unacceptable.
Ouch. Ouch. That hurts.
A wicked thought. Let's see.
7 damage.
Oh, the intricacies of mortality laid bare.
At your beck and call.
That's a must. And that way
It
hit
will
you?
be done.
I will endure. Strike is a prayer. Doubt is for the weak. I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury.
65. That's going to cost 1.
As the
Okay.
Emperor commands, I act. Faith without deeds is worthless.
Oh, fuck. Should have killed him first, huh? Now it hits bonus turn. Parry. Great. 7 damage. Parry. Great. Parry. Fantastic.
Strike me again. See what happens.
19, 20. 54. Yeah. That's the biggest problem, in my opinion, with a lot of weapons. The fact that they don't
My ears
really...
are ringing. I will do my duty.
Six to 8. Yeah, it does 1 to 2 damage. Yeah. 45. 45 on you as well.
At your beck and call.
I need your Aegis, O Emperor. I'll do it. Doubt is for the weak.
Oh, got the scream again. 11 damage. Oh, that hurt. That hurt big time.
Oh, a wicked thought. Oh,
Oh, and he killed.
It's so fragile.
Okay. That. Low last save. Where the fuck did we save last? That's a fair point. When did we save last? Okay, it starts when the combat starts. Okay.
Fate claims another one.
I can't equip you with anything, can I? Nope. Can't change equipment during combat. To be fair, I don't think we can...
Will do. What an unfortunate turn of fate. But of course.
It will be done. Indeed.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone. Eradicated. As the Emperor commands, I act. Guided by faith. Faith without denial can escape the Emperor's judgment. Power resides in the will of the righteous.
Can I hit? Oh, I can maybe.
Each strike
Yep.
is a prayer. As the Emperor commands, I act. Doubt is for the weak. I'll do it.
Screaming. 10 damage. 7 damage.
Strike me again. See what happens.
5.
What is?
Break the armor.
Let's see.
Will do.
Nine. It's so tempting. You know what? Dodge and parry. Put that on Abaddon.
Was that you? Or
Okay.
Just a minor setback.
Start with that.
The healing is much appreciated. I will do like you.
It's nothing.
Maybe you took damage, huh?
Faith
Just going to hose you down.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Oh, it's bleed. Okay.
Doubt is for the weak.
Oh.
Stop it!
Ouch. 7 damage. 5 damage.
Pain is but an illusion.
44. Stack more of those. 17 damage. Reload it. 18. You know what?
Anything else?
What is... Fresh injury. Bestial rage. Alright. Melee.
Will do.
It will be done. You must earn it.
Nice! I actually got an achievement for that one. As well. Nice. Goods. Iconoclast, Heroic Axe. Whenever the wearer of these gloves gets injured or falls unconscious in combat, their ally gain +1 damage. Okay. We are going up with Perception. Perception, yes. We are also going up with Psyche Manoris. That means we should be doing a lot more damage very soon. Contempt. At the bottom here, we have Swift Movement. We won. Where is it? Last weapon, Nimble Dodge Chance. That's not the one we want. Dual Mastery. 50% parry. We're going Weapon Skill. Are we going Toughness? We're going Toughness. Idotlas. You are going Willpower. Then you're going the first dodge attempt for every enemy in Fatebringer. Allies under at least one flawless every 9 successful dodge or parry by a Psyker, and their ally combined grant Psyker to action points next turn. Aftershock, Mental Breed, Mind Thief. Target suffers 3 additional damage. I think we're going like full on warp, like crazy warp stuff. Second sight. The psychic powers have 2+ increased range. We're going something here. When the psychic uses divination psychic power, an ally without an unnatural lock effect, the ally gains a natural lock. When the ally suffers a critical hit, it becomes a normal hit instead. Okay. You know what? We're going with that one. Agatha Ballistic. Yep. And we are going... Where is it? Where is it? Point blank. Muscle velocity. First hit of the burst deals additional damage equal to the weapon's fire rate. I like that they have actually color-coded them now.
The heir is dead. He sacrificed himself to save the entire dynasty.
A noble deed. Let the crew offer prayers for the hero who renounced his impure life in the name of humanity.
The Emperor protects. We won. We won.
Rivor, Master Helmsman, systems status report.
By the Emperor, it's the Seneschal, living and breathing. Oh, well, there's a tricky question. The old place is so overgrown with foul wickedry, we'll be scrubbing it off the vid screens for throne knows how long.
We need to re-establish contact with the Navigator's Sanctum. It is our only chance of escaping from the warp.
Your words seem to knock the officers out of their stupor, and the air around you fills with voices and commands being issued. You hear someone sobbing, one of the survivors buckling under the stress. A Bellard cuffs the crying officer without even looking.
Restore the Vox channel to the Navigator's Sanctum. Ready the crew. Prepare for translation to real space. You may call me superstitious, but translation is not a good time to disregard rules. You are the only one who speaks for House von Valancius. You may not be the Lord Captain, but you, more than anyone else, deserve to take her place in the ritual that is about to commence.
How did you people survive in here?
Must have been Providence. It better have been the Emperor's, not someone else's. When they barged in here, the ones with the Master of Whispers, some officers charged them, but it wasn't even a fight. I grabbed whoever I could and dragged them behind the cogitators. Then, I prayed for our rescue.
What must I do?
Take the Lord Captain's seat. Order the final preparations. Wait for the officers to report. Oh, blast it all to the void. Translation is a craft, not something to be explained in a tick. Just go up to the throne, mistress. These people are about to do the impossible. The least they deserve is the solace of seeing a figure sitting in the usual spot. And please hurry. Every second we waste is a terrible risk.
I'm ready. Begin the ritual.
The image before you is hazy, swaying in sorcerous currents invisible to mortal eyes, as if whatever is beneath this thin shell is constantly changing while still remaining the same. It has taken on the guise of Theodora, but the false rogue trader's eyes reveal the entity's true, surreal nature. One of Theodora's eyes is engulfed in otherworldly fire, the other, a vessel of ancient evil, bores into you. A voice seeps directly into your brain without ever reaching your ears, and this voice booms with all the horrors of the warp.
Did you stand in the path of another's destiny only to steal it? You accepted the call of the primordial truth and claimed that fate as your own. So be it. I wove the threads of destiny and held out my hand to you when the flame arose in your path. You took it, and in doing so, sealed your fate. In the future, you will repay me for this boon in full.
It resonates and merges with the voices that have already dug their foul roots into your consciousness. A moment later, you realize that all these voices are the myriad manifestations of the same call that has finally invaded your mind.
What do you want with me?
The aspirant vowed to return with a trophy, a relic that could serve the edge of daybreak. That fate was assured, and the steps chosen. And yet, you broke the unbreakable when you took the aspirant's place.
I see you. On the day when the final dawn rises over the Iron World, I see you by my side on that day. The day of my resurrection.
Your image is woven into the tapestry of things to come. I am the will of the weaver of destinies, and today I will weave a new thread of elusive possibilities and fickle chances. The thread that will lead you out of the maw of irreversibility. The thread that will help you find the keys to salvation. The thread that will guide you and the weapon of our return to me.
The path is set, child of the dawn. The thread is woven. Follow it, servant of mine.
Link's future, get their past before your eye. Flash of crimson purple image. The images replace one another in the violent blow blockade. Yeah.
Seneschal, the navigator's sanctum is silent. The Vox signal is stable, which means...
The navigator gave his life battling the storm that nearly claimed the Von Valancius flagship. We will honor his memory, along with that of all who died this day.
Seneschal, we could tell us now. Who is that? Where's the Lord Captain?
As First Officer, it is my duty to inform you, with the greatest regret and indelible sorrow, that Lord Captain Theodora von Valancius is dead. May her memory never fade from the annals of the dynasty. By right of blood succession, and with the absence of other kin who could challenge this decision, it is hereby declared that the successor to Theodora von Valancius is her heir, the rightful inheritor of the Warrant of Trade, and the title of Rogue Trader. The official ascension ceremony will be held at a later time. In the interim, have you lost your tongues? Hail your lady. It is because of her toils that we all still live. The deed is done, mistress. My apologies. I meant to say, Lord Captain.
The treachery of the Master of Whispers was fruitless, but victory came at a great cost. Lord Captain Theodora von Valancius perished along with her heir, Edelthrad, and thousands of crew members. Yet hope remained. For the second in line to the Rogue Trader dynasty survived. At the cost of many sacrifices made by the Lord Captain in the name of her own ambitions.
We're out. We're actually out. You know what? We have been streaming for almost 3 hours. It's great. It's good to actually be back streaming and stuff like that. I am putting down the game for today. I'm going to be back around the same time tomorrow. We're going to finish up the dialogues here.
Deep shadows of weariness can be seen on Abelard's face, though the old officer's eyes are keen. They rake over you from head to toe. He frowns, mutters something, then nods to himself.
Well, then, your ladyship.
You cannot help but notice that the seneschal does not know how to talk to you or where to begin. His hesitation brings an involuntary smirk to your face, as though someone else entirely is gloating at the old officer's confusion. Seeing your smile, Abelard pulls himself together.
You must now hold your first officer's briefing in your new role as Lord Captain. For many of those who are about to join us on the bridge, this will also be their first briefing. We sustained massive losses among the senior and middle-ranking officers. Some posts have had to be filled by the deputy's deputy. while others go unfilled entirely, and now the deck clans are deciding who will take over the leaderless cruise.
I can't save. I can't save. This is one of the more annoying things. How did we come to lose so many officers?
It appears the heretics were deliberately targeting the vessel's command. They knew exactly whom they were looking for and where they could be found. Which is unsurprising, given that their informant on board was our own Master of Whispers.
Abelard grimaces.
What's on the agenda for this meeting?
Reports on the condition of the ship and crew. The Lord Captain is not usually drawn away from her important affairs to attend such routine briefings, but this is a unique situation. I am still receiving updates from across the ship, and they are not encouraging. Getting this bird to fly could take a gargantuan effort, even so far as you personally negotiating with the authorities of the system we are currently in. So prepare to hear a bevy of complaints and excuses, your ladyship. Take this opportunity to get a good look at the officers who work 6 decks away from the bridge. And they in turn will have the honor of beholding the visage of their Lord Captain.
Have you succeeded in tracking down...
Abelard grits his teeth.
No, Lord Captain. In all the commotion, his trail went cold. Our people are still on the hunt for him and any mutineers who may still be skulking in the ship's many corridors, but, frankly, I would not be surprised to hear that we are now 1 shuttle short. I am afraid that it will be some time before he answers for all that he has wrought.
I'm ready to start the briefing. Summoned officers.
With a gesture, Abelard relays the order to the adjutants at the far end of the magnificent chamber. A dozen pairs of eyes bore into you, the expressions revealing restraint, joy, curiosity, and wariness.
Attention, officers. You have been granted an honor. Lord Captain Octavia the Fire Axe von Valancius will personally conduct today's briefing. Our most gracious Lord Captain is ready to hear your reports.
Perhaps you would introduce those present.
As you wish, your ladyship.
Abelard points to a tall, slender woman whose body seems to contain as many implants as it does flesh.
Vigdis Sarayata of the Ptoleman line, our new Vox Master.
It is an honor to serve your ladyship.
The Vox Master offers a deep bow.
Aboard this vessel you have at your command thousands of crew members and hundreds of officers and section chiefs. I am responsible for receiving, processing, and sending all communications between you and them, as well as external sources. I am your eyes and mouth, Lord Captain.
Beside her is Raver, the Master Helmsman. He steers our ship along the course set by the Lord Captain and monitors the void around us, to ensure that we do not stray into an asteroid field or a pirate trap.
The bearded man with pale, almost transparent skin, large dark circles under his eyes, and a dour expression that seems hardwired into his face, gives a sullen nod.
Hail, Lord Captain. This here ship's as good as home to me, so rest assured she's in safe hands. I'll die before I let her come to any grief. And lastly, our high factotum Janris Danruk, who oversees supplies, procurement, and the general material well-being of the ship.
Dressed in an embroidered jacket, the heavyset man with oiled hair offers an obsequious smile and bows.
It is an honor, your ladyship. You may trust me with all matters concerning your comfort, everything will be done to the highest standard. In the second row, we have the 3 officers charged with overseeing the ship's vital functions. The Master of Ordnance is responsible for the artillery aboard. The Infernus Master, whose crew work to prevent and extinguish fires on the ship. And, lastly, the Drives Master, servant of the Omnissiah.
The 3 officers salute you. The Infernus Master does so with confidence, while the Master of Ordnance betrays nervousness. The Drives Master offers a salute resembling a dance, involving the complicated manipulation of all the tech priest's mechadendrites.
Is that everyone?
Unfortunately, our choir master, the esteemed Zachary Wise, head of the Astropath section, is unable to join us. He is in charge of communications with distant star systems. Master Wise has been in a trance for some time now, attempting to contact other planets in the von Valancius Protectorate and inform them of Lady Theodora's passing and Kunrad Voigtbur's treachery. I will deliver a report to your ladyship on the Astropath's progress as soon as it is possible to do so.
It is equally regrettable that 2 more individuals worthy of mention could not join us at the briefing, the Master at Arms and Confessor Adalbert. The eminent Adalbert must see to the funeral services being held for the fallen officers, of whom there are too many for him to take leave from the chapel. And Mistress Sauerback, who has replaced her late predecessor as our Master at Arms, is currently leading the search for any surviving agents of Voigtbur. All others present are adjutants, secretaries, and deputies. They are here to make of a record of proceedings.
Okay. Wish to hear I wish to hear the Infernus Master's report.
Yes, Lord Captain.
The tall man bows his head in deference.
I can report that all fires across all decks have now been extinguished. The preliminary damage assessment, in terms of material losses and crew casualties, has been completed. The results have been submitted to the Seneschal and the High Factotum. The post passed to him after the previous Infernus Master and his next 3 deputies expired in the line of duty.
Abelard remarks in a low voice pitched for your ears only.
The lad is managing well so far. He can take the heat, so to speak.
High Factotum, what have you to report?
We are toiling day and night to compile a full account of the losses. The task will require next to no involvement from your ladyship. I will personally ensure that all damaged components are given into the tech priest's hands for attention and that all lost supplies are replaced. There is only one resource that I cannot replenish single-handedly, and that is people. We have lost more than 2,000 crew members, and, unfortunately, this number is not confined to the scum from the lower decks, which are easily replaced, but also includes trained professionals.
That's not good.
We will be able to make up our losses on the nearest planet, Rykad Minories. However, the planet, the whole system, in fact, belongs to the Winterscale Rogue Trader dynasty. We cannot simply begin recruiting on the planet without first coming to an understanding with the governor. In that respect, I am powerless. Negotiations at this level are a matter for the Rogue Trader. Especially true given Coligo's Winterscale's penchant for attacking first and asking questions later, and the kind of thick-skulled thugs he usually installs as governors on his planets.
Rumbles Abelard, frowning.
Master?
A voice distorted by a Vox retranslator emerges from under the tech priest's scarlet hood.
Lord Captain, the foes that set upon this noble void ship destroyed the repositories of hundreds of machine spirits. The great warp engine entrusted into my charge is unharmed, thank the Omnissiah, but its spirit mourns its dead brethren. We have not yet identified a prayer protocol capable of assuaging its sorrow and anger. With great sorrow I must also report that the engine seer prime, overseer, and spiritual authority of all tech priests on board, fell in battle. The Magus was betrayed by the little flesh that remained part of him. A most terrible loss. There is no one among my comrades aboard whose experience and comprehension of the sacred protocols equals that of the fallen Magus. We require a replacement, and as soon as possible.
Would someone care to translate it? No.
The tech priest bows her head.
Helms Master, deliver
Right
report.
you are, Lord Captain. To cut a long story short, the outlook is bleak. The ships sound, more or less, but without our engine seer prime and navigator, who fell in battle, we have no way out of the system. If we try to set so much as a toe inside the warp, I don't know what'll happen first, our warp drive being torn to pieces or all of us melting into the bulkheads.
Your ladyship, if you will allow me to interject, when we arrived in the system, my crew followed standard protocols and conducted a count of all the available communication channels in the region. One of them was a Navi's Nobilite station. The station maintains complete box silence, but even its presence here inspires hope. To have located a navigator in the very same system is an incredible stroke of luck, a true blessing from the God Emperor.
A sharp bolt of pain lances through your skull as if in response to what you just heard. You understand that it is not the God Emperor you should thank for such good fortune. The words of the demon that appeared before you during the translation to real space echo in your mind. I am the will of the weaver of destinies, and today, I will weave a new thread of elusive possibilities and fickle chances. The thread that will lead you out of the maw of irreversibility. The thread that will help you find the keys to salvation.
If I were you, I'd grab this chance with both hands, or else you'll soon be eyeing up asteroids to use as your new residence. In slightly less shitty news, we can go round and round this system till our heads are swimming, as long as the promethium and supplies last. And if any thick as Grok's shit lowlifes come sniffing around, we'll be able to take them out, so don't you worry on that score.
The Master of Ordnance gives you a gloomy look.
No, my job's simple, maintain the arsenal and fire where I'm told. But just ask anyone, we've got no able crew, no Lord Captain. Master of Ordnance, you forget yourself. So what?
Comes the officer's hostile and bitter reply. It is as if a dam has burst inside and all his pent-up emotions are rushing out of him.
The ship's in ruins. Every second officer's dead. And now we've got a green Lord Captain who's supposed to lead us to void knows where. Silence.
The bridge's magnificent glass panes seem to tremble under the force of Abelard's roar.
Enforcers, seize this mutineer.
Abelard grunts.
If only one officer out of the whole lot has fallen to pieces, Then that's not bad at all. Your ladyship, I do humbly apologize on behalf of the entire crew. What would you have us do with the Master of Ordnance? The former Master of Ordnance, I should say. Besides find a replacement, that is, for we already have one lined up.
We could release him. I think we're going to release him. Experienced Master of Ordnance are few and far between, so for the reasons he may remain, I leave his punishment up to your discretion.
20 lashes a month for the next half cycle. Deprivation of officers' rations and privileges for the same period. With the option to extend. Record that in his file.
Abelard stares unblinkingly at the Master of Ordnance.
Cease your sniveling. You disgrace yourself and your entire clan. Enough. The hysterics are over, let us resume.
The Master of Ordnance stands up, wiping the blood from his broken nose. His face is the picture of shock. What just happened seems to be dawning on him only now, and the knowledge of the fate he so narrowly escaped.
To summarize, we have sustained serious losses in crew members, and we require new engines here. Prime, Navigator, is that all that is preventing us from continuing on our voyage?
Precisely, Lord Captain. But bear in mind that this will not be the end of our trials. The ship's systems must be properly inspected for major damage, which can only be carried out at Footfall Station, home to the only dockyard in the sector. But we will never reach Footfall without first solving these 3 immediate problems.
Can you tell me about the current system we're in?
I cede to the Vox Master on this point. Mistress Toliman?
We are in the Rykad star system, and our voyage here was undertaken on the orders of your ladyship's predecessor. There are 3 inhabited bodies in this system, and our attempts to send Vox messages have produced confounding results. The Navy's Nobilite station has not simply failed to answer, it seems to be maintaining total Vox silence. However, we did receive a distress signal from the prison planetoid in the system. And Rykad Minories itself is also not responding to our hails. But what is most alarming is that our augurs have intercepted signals from the surface that seem to indicate ongoing hostilities on the planet.
The situation is not very encouraging. But without a navigator, a tech priest, and new crew members, we won't be able to travel anywhere. Therefore, we must go to the planet and the Novice Nobilite station and find out what in the void is going on.
Thank you all for your reports. Dismissed.
The assembled officers salute you as one.
Your ladyship, there is one other thing. A confidential matter of the utmost importance. Lady Theodora.
Abelard hesitates.
Your eternally esteemed predecessor brought the ship here, to this system, for a reason. She was given a secret commission. You perhaps are wondering who has the authority to commission a rogue traitor to do anything? And I shall tell you, the Lord Inquisitor, the hand of the Emperor, the chief architect of his will in the Coronis Expanse.
I came across a strange written letter on Theodora's desk. It was signed XC. You're referring to the contents of that note, I presume?
Yes, quite right. XC. Xavier Calcazar. Lady Theodora was to seek out the Lord Inquisitor's right-hand man, one Heinrich Van Kalux. An interrogator, you understand. All I know is that he is somewhere in this system, that we must find him and offer him whatever assistance he requires, and then deliver him to Footfall in the Furibundus system. Finding him without any more information to go on will be difficult indeed, but an Inquisitor is an important individual. The authorities in the system, either the Novice Nobilite or the Governor of Rykad Minories, may know something. That is all of it, your ladyship. You have a great deal of work ahead of you, but it is a mere taste of the daily burden of a rogue traitor. Soon you must take up the reins of the von Valancius Protectorate.
Abelard gives you another scrutinizing look, as if trying to gauge how long you will hold out under this mountain of problems. His face softens slightly, and it seems he is about to offer some words of encouragement.
Idira? Sister Argenta? Explain yourselves.
The Sister of Battle grimly nods toward Idira.
The Psyker is suffering some ailment, or dark madness. She insisted on seeing the rogue traitor. I judged that it would be unwise to leave her unsupervised.
For a brief moment, Sister Argenta's voice sounds hesitant.
I was also hoping to approach you with a personal request. But it can wait. Speak with me when you have time, rogue traitor.
Idira's glazed eyes rove over those assembled. One word bursts from her lips.
Daybreak.
Come to your Idra, come to your sense.
Damn it.
Idira presses her fingers to her temples in desperation.
Your ladyship? Here's the thing. I was trying to see the immediate future, and it hit me so hard, my head is still spinning. Something very strange is heading our way, and I can't make out what it is, no matter how hard I try. A single word is all I can make out, daybreak or maybe it's dawn, and it's ringing and ringing like an echo, like a bell, but if it's daybreak, then why is it so dark?
We cannot extract any information of value from a single word. Can you tell us anything else, Mistress Class?
No, not yet anyway. The voices are going berserk, all shouting at once, I can't make sense of any of it. As soon as I know or sense anything, I'll report it, alright? Lord Captain, if you want me to take a closer look into your future, find me on the bridge and we can talk. Lady Theodora was well served by my whispers on many occasions, and I'm sure you would benefit from them as well.
The psyker's bitten lips stretch into a wry smile.
If there is nothing else of value to report, I declare this briefing concluded. It's time to go to work. Okay, we actually saved. That's great. We didn't level up again. We're going to add that to cargo. We're going to add that to cargo. We are going to have a look. That is a new character. I have not seen that character.
A man of indeterminate age bores his head. His robes are spotless, and his rigid collar constricts his throat. The unsettling smell of medicine hangs in the air, and the man's pale eyes look bleached.
Greetings, your ladyship. Your chirurgeon Majoris is at your service.
Oh, he's the main health guy. Okay. Tell me about your responsibilities.
My job is to save lives. Heal wounded officers, develop vaccines for onboard epidemics, discover new methods of healing. However, I spend most watches listening to patients about their many qualms, managing the junior medici officers, and dividing the afflicted into those who matter and those who do not. A rather irritating addition to my duties as chirurgeon Majoris.
Not the most compassionate of healer, are you?
Compassion has nothing to do with the healer's trade. I prefer conversing with diseases rather than their carriers. Patients are aggravating.
What sort of new method?
I hope I have satisfied your curiosity. My job is to save lives. Heal wounded officers, develop vaccines for...
2. What sort of new methods?
There are many. I am ever in search of solutions to dangerous afflictions. My latest work involved studying a particularly lethal disease that devours the person's flesh and skin. It has already claimed 12 lives, but their deaths were not in vain. I have learned much about the enemy, and the vaccine will soon be ready for testing. I hope I have satisfied your curiosity.
How did you come to serve on my flagship?
I was the master healer on a world that belongs to the Korda dynasty. I had managed to cure someone who was considered doomed. Not because of their illness, but because a certain self-important priest had tried to cure them with a prayer and failed. After I put him to shame, he started spreading rumors that I owed my skill to the influence of the ruinous powers. I sought refuge under Lady Theodora, who expressed an appreciation for my talents and welcomed me and my family on her ship.
You are not actually a heretic, are you? You serve the Emperor faithfully.
His colorless eyes flash indignantly.
My expertise is the result of hard work and accumulated wisdom, not some paltry sorcery. I employ my craft to save his children. That should serve as a better proof of my innocence than any show of piety.
Are there customs of Korda worlds truly uncompromising and blind reason?
You teach a man to read, you raise a bright heretic, I believe was one of the favorite local sayings. As for demonstrating the superiority of knowledge over the advice of holy ecclesiarchs, well, that kind of defiance was sure to put my life at risk. Naturally, House Korda still has need of people like me, educated and capable of intellectual thought. However, anyone who is permitted to learn does so under strict supervision. I have heard Lady Incendia's ship has a dedicated compartment for sages and keepers of knowledge that more resembles a prison than a liberium.
If they can work miracles and cure those who are beyond treatment, skin up. It was rather careless of you to get involved in this, in that case.
I would not have become a chirurgeon if I was afraid of death. It is an unavoidable side effect of my profession.
Faith can work miracles.
3. Faith can work miracles and cure those who are beyond treatment. This cannot be denied.
He grimaces wearily.
And neither can one deny the fact that miracles are rare. The belief that prayer can relieve a person of illness enables false hopes. Those who prefer healing themselves with reverent words still end up on my table, so that I can perform an autopsy rather than a procedure.
He nods, brushing away invisible specks from his white gloves.
How is the crew's health?
Are you interested in a general report on the ship as a whole or in hearing about how your immediate subordinates are faring?
Give me a general report.
I am currently not aware of any epidemics or other large-scale threats to the lives of the crew, or anything more serious than normal, at least. Minor outbreaks are part of the natural decline process. The Medici are occupied with treating both industrial and combat injuries as well as dealing with sporadically occurring ailments.
The senior officers, what kind of complaints do they have?
The master helmsman's headaches caused by his faulty implants, the high factotum's occasional indigestion, the master at arms's combat wounds that can hardly be considered life-threatening.
Furius folds a finger dismissively for every officer he mentions.
Vapid cases that I am obligated to manage as chirurgeon majoris. At least the Infernus master does not waste my time and simply comes to pick up ointments for his burns. What would you like to discuss?
That would be all. That's one of the new characters. Oh.
The Infernus master nonchalantly lights a hollow stick from a thermal cutter and spreads his arms in a welcoming gesture.
Heinrich Montag, at your service.
He smells of cinders and lho, his face is sooty, and his belt is laden with a number of heavy tools. You would have taken him for a laborer if it weren't for the greasy and ragged officer's uniform. He narrows his eyes, studying your face, then says with visible relief.
It's only tales after all. You just don't look like a bringer of woes to me.
But what's that about bringer of woes?
Do I even need to say it? The moment you came aboard, Lady Theodora perished. So did her arch-militant, as well as half of the senior officers and a quarter of the Infernus Guild along with the previous Infernus Master. What's worse, rations don't taste as good anymore, fire burns hotter, and that sinister look in your eyes, like you're about to put a curse on someone.
Heinrich grins.
It's what the Voidsmen say, so it must be true.
What if I were to put a curse on you this very instant?
That would be a sight. I've never seen a real curse before. My niece would be thrilled to hear all about it.
How did you come to be in the service of von Valentius dynasty?
Not in the usual way. My ancestors wronged yours and were appointed Inferni as a result. Hard labor, deadly risks, plenty of opportunities to atone. Those criminals have been dead for generations, but we are still serving their time. Maybe we will find redemption one day.
I love the art of this guy. I absolutely love the art of this guy. Tell me more about the Infernus Guild.
What interests you the most? Our duty, our state-of-the-art equipment, or our vibrant traditions?
How is the guild organized?
The Infernus service is split into different brigades according to duties. The heart of the guild are, of course, our liquidators, tough guys with nerves of steel, who put out fires and pull people from the flames. Others are repairmen, dealing with problems like jammed doors, fuel leaks, or broken vents. And then there's the walking inspectors, who check the decks to make sure that nothing is blocking any passages or access to communication lines.
State-of-the-art equipment, that sounds interesting.
The Infernus Master smiles guiltily.
That was a bit of a stretch, I'm sorry. There is no state-of-the-art equipment, the risks of ruining it in a fire are too great. We get by using human resources and the most common items available, respirators, fire extinguishers, and flame-retardant uniforms. Let's face it, the lives of the Inferni are not worth much. It's more important that we save the machines and minimize damage to the ship.
What traditions?
We have plenty of those, like the reminders.
Heinrich rolls up his sleeve, revealing a tattoo inscribed over an old burn mark.
When you survive a particularly hopeless accident, you get a tattoo on your scar. You can always tell an experienced Infernus by their ink. It's like a badge of honor of sorts.
Tell me how you got your reminders.
He points to a tattoo on his right forearm.
This one is from the time plasma leaked from the outer aft circuit. Imagine yourself clinging to the hull outside, thermal cutter in one hand and a magnetic clamp in other. Azure flames burst from the breach, the kind that can incinerate you in a second. All that separates you from death is a flimsy rope and a void suit more ancient than Holy Terra. And yet the price I paid was nothing compared to my comrades.
He slowly moves the augmented fingers of his right hand.
As for this one,
the look he directs at his left hand is full of bitterness.
I got this one in the ammo depot where my wife Elsinora died. There was a fire, and the flames were getting close to the ammunition. And I don't mean autogun rounds, these were macro cannon shells. We put out the fire as best we could, but we were losing. Suddenly, Elsie took my hand, kissed me, and then ran straight into the blaze and activated the emergency blast door. We stayed outside while she vented the compartment.
Heinrich gives a tender smile, gazing at the smoke.
It was quite a story.
He nods gratefully and takes another puff.
What shall we talk about?
Remind me who you are.
I am just a humble laborer in charge of putting out fires and dealing with emergencies, but everyone calls me the Infernus Master. I guess this is because I answer for them with my life.
With your life, you say?
That's right. Picture flames roaring, all the ship's systems have failed, including the artificial gravity, you can't make out anything because of the red-hot debris, and you know an explosion is coming. It's a nightmare, but it's your job to evacuate the panicked crew, eliminate the cause of the fire, and get the compartment back in working order. Of course, the job description doesn't allow me to risk my life now.
He smiles sadly.
It is all about management these days, sending the boys and girls into the fire. But it's all nonsense, and if the going gets tough, I won't leave them there alone.
What kind of emergencies does the Infernus Guild deal with?
Oh, there are many. Accidents due to external factors, for example, hits from enemy guns or collisions with hollow objects like the wreckages of other ships. There are plenty of internal causes as well, from system malfunctions and short circuits to problematic cargo. A couple years ago, something blew up in the hold. Nearly burned it to a crisp. And then there's sabotage. That void fur snake did a lot of damage to the ship.
A laborer. And why are you lounging on the bridge?
The simple answer is because nothing is on fire. As head of the Infernus Guild, I'm mired in the officers' routine of reports and discussions. There are several compartment upgrades and refurbishments on the agenda right now, and I have to make sure that fire safety protocols are followed everywhere. Rest assured, I'll scurry back to the technical base to do manual labor as soon as all the paperwork is done. Ready to answer them all.
Aren't you being a little too relaxed in front of your Lord Captain?
Perhaps because I live under the constant threat of an agonizing death by fire, I have a repressed, what's the word? Self-preservation instinct. Or maybe I just relish every minute I get to breathe LHO smoke instead of cinders. I humbly apologize for my manners, Lord Captain.
Heinrich continues to smile without a shred of embarrassment.
Take the low stick from Enrich and draw a puff. You're an interesting person, Enrich.
Chuckling, the Infernus Master takes out a new LHO stick and lights it.
Not half as interesting as you are, Lord Captain.
This is enough for now, Enrich.
Never let your fire go out, Lord Captain. I mean, no.
Heinrich hurriedly waves his hands.
That's just a stupid little guild-in joke. Seriously, if you see an Infernus next to a naked flame, run.
Okay, so that's Enrich. That's also one of the new characters to deal with. Chronos Expanse, that's the map. Sourback, that's I think that's a new character, yeah?
Joecaster Sourback is the very picture of discipline.
Oh, yeah.
Her uniform is exquisitely pressed, her armor is polished, and her posture is imposing and rigid. The only flaw in her immaculate appearance is the heavy Enforcer's maul, which is worn and battered from frequent use. She salutes you with a practiced motion.
Greetings, Lord Captain.
Some of the new art for the new characters are fucking amazing. Absolutely fucking amazing. How did you come to serve on my flagship?
I come from the noble Sourback family of the capital world of Dargonis. I dare say that our house is renowned for its loyalty and strict adherence to the law, and the members of my family have been your faithful enforcers for centuries. I am honored to be the 6th Master-at-Arms named Sourback to serve on this ship.
Jocasta speaks the words with unmistakable pride.
Why are you here instead of basking in the luxury on Dragonus?
Because of my cousin Makarius.
A furious crease appears between her brows.
I cannot stand him, but the feeling is mutual. We can hardly be in the same room together, so I jumped at the opportunity to become your enforcer. I should thank my obnoxious cousin for nudging me toward the best decision of my life. I serve you with all my heart and wish for no other fate than this one.
You're wearing an Imperial Navy armor. How did you come by it?
I inherited it from the previous Master-at-Arms. Like the esteemed Seneschal, he left the Navy to serve Lady Theodora. He brought quite a few officers with him and established a tradition: upon the death or resignation of an enforcer, his or her armor would be passed on to a fellow officer who had distinguished themselves in the course of their duties. I was awarded armor in this way in my time, and upon the death of my predecessor, I inherited his personal armor.
What is your opinion of me as Lord Captain?
I do not share the disgraceful concerns that certain crew members indulge in. Those who whisper about your so-called apostasy from the Emperor are all traitors.
She looks away, but before she does so, you notice a strange spark in her eyes.
The courage with which you ignore the opinions of others deserves admiration.
There is fire in the black depths of her gaze. If she could, she would devour you whole with her sidelong glances.
It seems to be detecting something more than mere admiration.
Then what about awe?
Her pupils dilate, and she licks her lips involuntarily.
Thinking about how superior you are to those around you, about all that you can permit yourself, it leaves me trembling.
Of course, of course. We can discuss your admiration somewhere private.
Yes, Lord Captain.
Flames of anticipation burn beneath Jocasta's icy mask of loyalty.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Sourback lovingly strokes the stiff cord that is usually braided around the hilt of her weapon. It still retains the heat of her passion-charged flesh. She raises her eyes, full of dark satisfaction, to you. It is an exceptionally rare sight, the Master-at-Arms, utterly relaxed and content.
Lord Captain, have I obeyed your orders well enough?
Okay, yeah, okay, okay. Fuck's sake.
1. You have satisfied my wants to the full. 2. The next time you wield your weapon, remember this night. 3. I hope this will have no effect on your diligence in performing your duties. Any intimacy shared between us confers no special privileges.
Yeah, we're going with 2.
Sourback winds the cord around her finger with a wolfish grin.
I shall. Often and with great pleasure.
Perhaps we shall do this again sometime.
If it pleases the Lord Captain, next time I will bring along a few things from the interrogation room. You will most certainly find a use for them.
Oh my god. Do we have anything more in here? Or is it empty now? It's empty now. Paper, unfinished letter. Is it relevant? Nope. We have new loot. Oh, we have the face of the Sovereign. Whenever they kill an enemy. Plus resolve, and then they gain 5 to all characteristics.
The ticking of the clock is too quiet for its bulky size. The light glinting off the polished skull of some unknown Xenos makes it seem like the bony face is mocking you.
Hey, we have now...
The bookshelves are packed with ancient books, piles of papers, and tomes, many of which look rather worn.
Hey, yep. Bridge Technomat. So, yeah. We are going to call it here. Because we are now in the Kronos Expanse. Or we are in Riked Minoris, or on those planets. Nothing. Okay.
Lord Captain, Astropathic Choir Master Zachary Weiss is asking to speak to you via a private channel. Greetings, Your Ladyship. I can report that the choir is listening tirelessly to the Immatrium in the hope of picking up voices from the dynasty's ships or worlds. However, we have heard something horrifying instead. Amid the Immatrium's tumult, something is screaming. This scream is driving your choir mad. Until it stops, we have no hope of contacting any of the dynasty's worlds. It is coming from the Rikard System's Astropathic station.
Oh, that's new. That's new. That wasn't there before. I don't think we have been introduced.
Indeed not, and we meet under lamentable circumstances. My name is Zachary Weiss and I am proud to be the choir master of your ship's Astropathic choir. The duty I perform is to keep you in contact with the Expanse via astropathic messages sent through the warp by trained psychers.
What do you think the nature of the scream is?
We do not know, Your Ladyship, but it has brought the Immatrium to a boil. It has always been a violent, roaring ocean that could spell doom to any who would consider stepping into its waters. Now, however, it has become a cradle of madness where expelled images fuse together, twisting and cackling, before crashing into the minds of all who perceive it. A mighty warp storm the likes of which I cannot recall rages in the Empire Eon, and it fills me with terror.
Scream stop. Will we be able to contact someone?
I humbly hope so, Your Ladyship. Perhaps we will manage to send a call for aid to the Von Valancius worlds or one of the dynasty's allies.
We're going to pay a visit to the station.
Thank you, Your Ladyship.
Going to talk to these guys?
The Vox crackles to life, and Master Helmsman Raver addresses you. What we have here, Lord Cap'n. It is not very noticeable, but there's a void ship sitting in the local asteroid field. It sure is quiet, like it's huddled up in there on purpose. It's not like I am surprised, the thing is more scrap heap than ship at this point. Somebody sure went to town on it. We are registering critical damage to the hull and depressurization of several compartments. Oh, there is an incoming transmission now, too. Hear us. The Vox transmission hisses and abruptly cuts to static. Do not require assistance. Pete, do not require assistance. Copy. The Vox relays a different voice. Keep following. They'll pass us by, won't they? Raw protects. Lord Captain, I am told our augurs cannot determine the allegiance of the vessel. To be brief, there is an unidentified and badly damaged vessel within an asteroid field near the Ricardiphilia colony that is refusing help, which, not to put too fine a point on it, has not yet been offered to them.
Have an awakening them. Let the vessel identify itself.
Yes, Lord Cap'n. The connection is established. Unknown vessel, we are receiving you. Identify yourselves. For a brief moment the Vox only hisses and snaps, and then several voices at once start shouting over one another. Do not tell. Tell him. We are done for. This is Thunderfang. We are. One of the voices falters uncertainly and is replaced by another. A merchant vessel. Do you copy? We are a private, chant vessel. A merchant vessel. Of course, they are. Damn my stupid head, where did I hear this name before? Thunderfang.
Bravo. Damage report on the unknown vessel.
Telemetry shows multiple hull breaches, most likely caused by the guns of a combat ship. Several compartments are leaking air. The bridge has been almost completely obliterated. 2 of the engines are critically damaged. Somebody gave them a thrashing so solid they barely managed to limp away.
Thunderfang. Why can we not identify you?
You can make out hoarse and furious whispering even over the crackling of the static. Why? I don't know. What if? Certainly not. The whispering dies and a clear, youthful voice cuts through the static. Our vessel is badly damaged. Image is preventing the correct identification. We assure you. Full merchant vessel. Thunderfang does not require aid.
Thunderfang, your vessel is badly damaged. What happened to you?
The Vox responds by bursting into a cacophony of sounds, words, and emotions. Someone chuckles bitterly, another swears with some foul expletives, and yet another hisses, furiously demanding that the others shut up. You manage to make out little from all this noise. We were just flying, minding our own business. Straight out of the blue and opened fire. Miracle we could get away. Emperor protected. And then more fire. Who? Void only knows. Roasted our tail, bombed everything. Our folks are left without our help. We never got to them.
Thunderfang, now stop playing games and explain again what your business is here. This is highly recommend, and this time I highly recommend the truth.
Happy now. What have you done? Diet. It is too late now. The Vox channel is again filled with the angry whispering of several voices. The whispers and static are drowned out by a clear and slightly frightened voice. Do you copy? We are from the Fellow of the Void. We did not come here to loot. On a different business. To help our own. Out of jail. Do not hurt. Lease. We already had our Kronos cleaned. How about striking a deal? Our hold is full of goods. In case you are unaware, Lord Captain, the Fellowship of the Void is a disorderly assembly of several dozen pirate factions in the Coronus Expanse. They consider themselves above regular heretics solely because they sometimes have Vox conversations with those whom they are about to board. Were it up to me, I would make them eat a salvo from the macro cannons to shake the scum loose from the decks. They certainly deserve it. The honeyed voice of the high factotum interrupts the translation with a polite cough. I would wait on destroying the vessel if I were you. Although the moral aspects of their livelihood do cause some awkward questions, the Fellowship of the Void remains a major supplier of goods to the local market. Perhaps you will find dealing with them acceptable, especially in a situation where performing a warp jump is impossible.
Thunderfang, prepare for commercial exchange. Oh, flamer. Range attack decrease. Huh. If I remember correctly, yeah. And now we can trade, but what do you actually have that I want? Oh, Mars Pass then Axe. Melee. I kind of want that. Reaper Cape. Grants 12 dodge reduction to the wearer's melee area attacks. Autogun Stalker's Gloves. If the wearer's range attack hit an enemy, the wearer gains 5 bonus critical hit chance for the next range attack against the same enemy. This does not stack. Okay, fair enough. Noise suppression. Whenever, when the wearer kills an enemy in a 1 cell radius with a shot, they gain 1 resolve in the end of combat. Okay. I like this one though most currently. Can't say no to a chainsword. Is it an upgrade? We select 500. That's not enough to actually do a trade-in. Heretic trophies, provisions. They don't really accept anything. Okay. Force grenade, war glove. Okay, we got ourselves heavy armor, and that is going to be it for today. That is going to be it today. I want to wish everyone a good night. This is going up on YouTube, and if you actually see this on YouTube, actually come over to Twitch. I'm going to try to stream this on pretty much as many evenings as I can. Good night.